we might have the technical issues out of the way. I don't know why it did this, but when I reset the Elgato card, it messed up all my sound settings on Lord of the Rings Online. I have since fixed those sound issues, obviously. We're back. Craziness is what this is. But we got past the hiccups. We restarted the stream. I think I've got everything going the way I need it to go. We're up on YouTube. We're up on Twitch. Streamlabs is working. My analytics are going. What's up, Pippin? Do you want to come say hi to everybody? No? You ready to go? You're awake too? You want to say hi to everybody, Smeagol, before we go? I got Smeagol and Pippin in here. They both just woke up from their naps, so I think they're about ready to go outside, which means I need to go ask Chris. Right as I start the stream. Right as I start the second stream, you guys want to go out. Well, let me go check with Mommy. Pippin, you want to say hi to everybody before you go out? Come here. No? They got dewormed today, so they're all a little grumpy because medicine does that. Dungeon Master Bushy says, come to the light, Ren. Falcons over on Twitch said, were you just on then off? I was, because we started the stream. I switched over from the PS5 to the laptop, and because one's at 4K and this can't run at 4K, this game doesn't scale to 4K, there was a scaling issue, and we lost, first there was a resolution issue, we restarted everything, and then we lost sound, and I had to figure out why we lost sound, because we only lost sound from Lord of the Rings Online. Something about when we reset Elgato, it nuked my sound settings in Lord of the Rings Online, so I had to get the sound back, and we're back now. So we're about to settle in for a hopefully 3 to 4 hour stream. Assuming we got all the technical stuff out of the way. Let me let the cats out and tell Chris that they're coming her way so that that she can close the catio door, and then we're gonna get going. So yes, I was on and then off, and now we're back. No, you're not crazy. Dave's not here. Dave, you would ask a question about the Burglar. I'll answer that as soon as I sit back down. I can't remember exactly what your question was. Something about how's the Burglar play now compared to launch. If you want to confirm that in chat, let me know. I'll be right back. Alright, Chris is already sitting outside with her margarita, so she's at the back door. Alright, welcome everyone to our Monday night Lord of the Rings Online session with my river hobbit. My river halfling hobbit. Going through content that I've never seen before, because these are new starting areas that got added last year, and I haven't played through them yet. Dave said, how is the Burglar compared to when I played before? I loved it then, did some amazing things with it. They play the same. There haven't been a ton of changes to the Burglar over the years. Other classes have seen some significant changes, like the Lore Master as an example. The Red Line now, I believe you can't use pets anymore. It's just purely a DPS line for the Lore Master. That's a little different. I don't know when was the last time you played, but it's still just sneak around the battlefield, stab, stab, stabbity, stab. There are different specs that do different things, obviously, with the racial traits. If you choose to play in groups, it's still the best character to play in a group to trigger fellowship maneuvers, but no one really uses fellowship maneuvers anymore. So it just kind of depends on... I mean, it's largely the same as it was back then if you played during Rohan, in my opinion. Other people will be like, no, they changed this one thing that dramatically changed the class. I don't feel that way about most games. Fellowship maneuvers are cool, but unless you're like doing hard dungeons at the cap or raids, they're really not You burn through things so quickly now at the lower levels, it's not that big of a deal. Alright, let me get my other keyboard up here as we get going. Now that we got all of our technical difficulties, shake it off, everybody. Shake it off. So, when last we left off, made a whole bunch of quests in Cardalon, which unfortunately are all like red. They're all level 20, which means I need to like go do some lower level content. What I didn't know, because I had never done this area before, was I thought Swanfleet was the only zone and that it was going to send me to Bree. And so I just ignored all the side quests in Swanfleet. And it turns out I probably should have done those side quests to keep my levels up. Because once I got into Cardalon, which I didn't know was going to happen, apparently the way these new starting areas works is there's 2 zones you go through and then it drops you into Rivendell. And all the other starting areas drop you into Bree. You go to the Prancing Pony, and this one skips the Prancing Pony entirely and takes you and drops you into Rivendell around level 32 or 33, somewhere around in there. So knowing that, I'm under-leveled for all of this stuff because I'm only level 15. So I am going to do these 2 quests right here that I have that are 16 and 17 and see where they lead to, but more than likely they're going to lead to more level 20 stuff, so we're probably going to back out and go to Swanfleet and just work on chains there to finish up those quests and just level up a little bit tonight. I've got mail. Pressing matters. Some of us have reasons to stay in the shadow. Oh, this is probably my level 15 class quest. Yep, that's going to be my level 15 class quest. I don't want to take that right there because that'll be like housing items, which I don't need. Oh, and I can finally use the potions. Yay! Oh, it already gave me the quest, so don't even click that again. Okay. Seeking the scouts. That is way over there. Let's do the half-orcs at the bridge. That one's relatively close. We need to go southwest. And then turn southeast, sorry, and then go northeast once we get to the fork. At some point here in a bit, everybody, we're going to play a little bit, but then we're going to go over and we're going to answer a question from one of our community members who asked a great question this morning. I have a video out on should you buy New World Eternum. We played that over the weekend, the open beta, and Select 20, who's been around for quite a bit in our No Man's Sky streams and other places. Maybe not No Man's Sky, but Select 20's been around a bit in our YouTube community. He had a great question related to content creation and scheduling that I actually wanted to talk about live tonight. So we're gonna go answer that here in a bit, but I want to get some mileage under our hoofs here first, everybody. Hopefully we're good. There's no storms scheduled tonight, so unless the internet decides to be poopy, we should be able to go for a while tonight. If the internet is poopy, I will switch over to the backup internet, but so far we're doing good. I do have 2 connections for that reason, because living in the middle of nowhere on a homestead means that you sometimes have to have plan B's. We need to read the discarded parchment on the bridge. Well, there is an easy way to do this. That says, hey, stealth. My Hobbit don't jingle jingle, he stealths. I'm here every day, folks. Oh no! No! Why did it have to spawn a wraith? I want to loot the frickin' note. Run away! Run away! Oh no! Oh, this is hilarious. Like, as soon as I get here, we get a wraith that spawns. And he's going to be sitting there camping the note. Alright, we're going to have to be careful here. I think they despawn after a couple of minutes. Well, hopefully they despawn after a couple of minutes. Hiya! You know, if all of these guys are down, we might be able to handle the wraith if they're all dead. I would need to make sure that all of my stuns are up. I think it despawned. I think we're okay. It did. We're good. On this server, they do Dungeon Master Bushy. So this is the legendary server of Angmar. They launched 2 brand new VIP servers in August, I believe. Which are, if you've ever played one of the legendary servers before, hang on a second. The parchment is hasty writing scrawled upon its surface. I'm finished with you and your lot. There are bounty hunters after me now, and after I've managed to loot them so far, I'm afraid my luck is soon to run out. I need to find something new. You and your half folks are on your own, and I won't cry for you miserable curs. Alright, we need to go back to talk to Lona. So normally when they launch a VIP server, a legendary VIP server, it's just Shadows of Angmar, and then they unlock Moria, and they unlock things. It's a progression server. If you've ever done World of Warcraft Classic, EverQuest 1, EverQuest 2, it's just a time-locked progression server. But this time around, they also have an event tied to it. So there is a small chance that a even con but difficult wraith will spawn after you kill a mob. And if you kill it, you get a special coin drop. It's not a coin, it's an item that drops. It's like and those coins are used to buy items from the seasonal vendor that's in the game. There are also big raid versions, which are the actual ring wraiths. Those are the Nazgul. When they spawn, they take like a bunch of players to take on. And there are 10 rings, if I remember correctly, there are 10 rings that are randomly given to characters throughout the game, players. And someone with a ring must be present to take down or to be able to provide a debuff to the big Nazgul wraiths. So it's like a raid boss, an open world raid boss. So that's the difference between this legendary server and the normal legendary servers. Is like this one has a seasonal event tied to it. I forget what the event is called, but it has the ring wraiths. It's just an extra, like, something spicy for people who want to have fun. Yeah, if you come play on the VIP server, Dave, the the max level is level 50, so everybody's in the same place. And I think Moria unlocks maybe in October. I don't really know. I'll get this bounty, Telemar. You're welcome to give it the chase, but I never will. Now be gone. Alright, so that's all we have for her. Got some new boots, though. Okay. Seeking the scouts. Man, that is a long way over there. And, you know, probably the best bet is going to be to hit the road and travel all the way up to get that mount up here at the Surlac farm and then cut down to the peninsula. And we can get the horse at Karanust as well. Alright. Yeah, I mean, that's the appeal for most of these progression servers, legendary servers, is the ability for people to do a fresh start with everyone at the same time. Everyone's at the same level. You know, there's a few months before the next expansion unlocks. It's also good if you're someone who wants to do group-based content. Now they have there's a matchmaking system in the game now, so you can do matchmaking to find groups. There's more people doing low-level content at this level, whereas if you go on a legacy server, everybody's at the cap. It's much harder to find groups for lower-level content. So if you have the time, I would say that Lord of the Rings Online, it's a great time to play. Matter of fact, I've got a post I put out, which is what inspired me to get back into this, because I wasn't going to play LOTRO this year. And then I put out a video talking about the new legendary servers, and it blew up. It did like 35,000 views in a couple of days, and I went, well, shit, I guess everybody wants me to go play LOTRO again this year. So currently we're only on Monday nights, Monday afternoons. But there's still a big community that plays this game. There's a lot of people. I've been genuinely surprised by how many people have never played it before who are coming in from the videos and doing this for the very first time. That's been genuinely pleasing to see, because I do realize as an older game with an older art style and a lack of quality of life features, you know, they have done a good job. Like the new server tech is great. The matchmaking system that they added is cool. You know, they've obviously updated classes a bit, but it does look like a, you know, older MMO, and that's a turnoff for some players. And I would love it if they would add controller support. That's a wish list of mine. Can we cut up through here? I don't know that we can. Nope. I bet we're gonna get shuffled down this rock. Yep. Oh, we might make it. Come on, you can do it. Nope, we're not jumping that. Gotta follow the road. There's a mount up in here somewhere. Alright, that was dad joke level 15, Dungeon Master Bushy. Not enough horsepower. Where's the horse at? Oh, it's probably up top here. Oh no! No! Jump! Get back! Stupid hobbits, man. They're so small they start swimming when you jump into puddles. Alright, somewhere over here is a mount. There it is. Joshua Karn says, reinstalling LOTRO right now after watching your video. I'm bored with the War Within already. Oh man, not me. I'm on my second character right now. I'm leveling up my Earthen Paladin. Working my way, clearing all the content I haven't seen yet. Working on delves. Gonna get my dirigible. We're starting raids with the guild in October. We're doing harvesting nights on Saturday nights with the guild. So much to see and do in the War Within. But granted, I don't play it every day. It's not my main game. I play that on Wednesday nights and Saturday nights. It's a lot easier to not burn out when you don't play every single day. Because anybody, we have people in our guild who play World of Warcraft every single day, and even they struggle sometimes with the burnout because they're logging, you know, every single day, months in and months out. And I've never played that way. I very much spread it out. Yeah, that's cool, Joshua. As long as you accept that it's your own. Like that's the thing. It's like everybody's got things. Like I can't play Souls-like games because I hate action combat, and I recognize that that's a me thing. So Elden Ring getting Game of the Year, even though I'll probably never play that game because I hate action combat, does not take away from the fact that it's an amazing game. I just don't like action combat, so... But, you know, half the other YouTube creators out there, if they don't like something, they're like, this game is garbage! Yeah! Nope, ignore your quest. Ignore that quest. Don't get stopped. Get the horse. It works for me. And a matter of fact, this is going to be a great segue into the discussion point I mentioned earlier that we were going to talk about, because Select 20 had a great question this morning that I actually pulled out and I wanted to talk about with the stream tonight a little bit. So since we're in a safe spot, let's get a nice POV behind us. We got the windmill. Get off our horse. So this is the segue, because Christopher Roberts said, I need to start doing that. Just do games on certain nights. So let me get over here and make sure that I've got the right comment highlighted. And we're going to go ahead and have a discussion here really quick, tied to why a game on certain nights and scheduling and everything else, because I thought it was a really cool thing to talk about. We're at 26:45 on the timestamp, and we can go ahead and open this up. So the comment, and then we'll have LOTRO in the background here in a minute after I read through the comment for everybody. So this is on my video, which we published the other night on should you buy New World Eternum after playing it over the weekend. Select 20 has been a community member on YouTube for a long time now, and he says, doggone it, Ren, every time. I know I'm beating a dead horse, but every time I see you covering another game or one I haven't played in a while, it really makes me want to play it. Which I would like to say thanks for saying that, but also that means I'm doing my job. Because as an entertainer slash content creator slash streamer slash, dare I say, small scale influencer, it means I'm doing my job if I'm sharing my enthusiasm with these games and inspiring people to want to play them. He's still trying to finish Star Wars Outlaws. I'm on my second playthrough of Star Wars Outlaws. Phenomenal game. I loved it. He says, anyway, that's my convoluted way of saying you make great content. Keep it up. But here's where we really wanted to talk about. That's me stroking my ego and saying thank you. As a side note, I notice you keep a schedule for the games you play. I have gaming ADHD, and unless a game really hooks me, I bounce around a lot and I don't finish games. This could also apply to burnout. It would be cool if you did a video on how you schedule your gaming, how many games you're playing at once, and etc. And I think his comment was triggered by the fact that I wrote a post this morning which talks about the next 6 weeks of my schedule, which is on top of the video I published last month, which is the next 6 months of my schedule, and how I do try to schedule things 6 months out in advance. Exactly, Joshua. That's why I felt like that was the perfect segue when Christopher made that comment about scheduling games at certain nights. I was like, well, this is the perfect time to stop and talk about this. So this is a multi-part question that I want to dive into here. I'll go back to LOTRO real quick, guys, so you guys can. Well, we'll do that here in a second, actually, because I want to walk through this post as well. So this multi-part question, I want to walk through this really quick as we're playing. So I don't want to self-diagnose, but I did have an interesting conversation with my brother and my sister-in-law when I was up in June visiting the family ranch, talking about my nephew has been diagnosed with some things related to ADHD, and my brother and I also have similar things we've noticed over the years, but we've never been diagnosed. It's never been, so I'm not going to self-diagnose myself, but we talked about how I very easily lose focus unless I structure everything. And if you've ever been on any of my streams, long-term viewers know this, I get off on tangents very easily. I'll get sidetracked it's really bad in No Man's Sky. Like, I'll have things I'm supposed to be doing, and then I'm like, oh, look, shiny, and then we're 35 minutes over in the next direction, we're an hour and a half over in this direction, so it's a thing. But he says, unless a game really hooks me, I bounce around a lot, and I don't finish games. So it would be cool if you did a video on how you schedule your gaming, how many games you're playing at once. Joshua says I was diagnosed with Asperger's at 41. I mean, I'm sure I should probably go get and see if there's anything, and maybe I will at some point. I'm 44, almost 45, and I've gone my whole life this way, and I've figured out how to make it work, but I recognize that I have issues. I just don't know what those issues are. Definitely focus issues. It drives my wife nuts sometimes. Anyway, so the one caveat to all of this that I will say, one of the reasons that I'm able to stay so structured is because I learned very many years ago that I have to have a schedule. So my Google Calendar is my saving grace, and also anybody who's been here for a while know that I go through notebooks like this. I'll go through 3 or 4 of these a year. Literally every time I'm streaming, I just go through and I'm making notes, I'm timestamping things, I'm coming up with ideas, and this is my day-to-day. I have a Google Calendar, and then I have this right here. So everything that gets like a thought, if a thought springs into my head, it gets written down, because then it becomes a video, or it becomes a talking point, or it becomes something that I can squeeze in somewhere. As to how I schedule my gaming, the caveat to this is that I do this for a living, so it's a little different for me than it is for the average person who's just gaming for fun. Because most people who are just gaming for fun aren't going to focus in the same way that I do, because I'm approaching this from a monetary standpoint as opposed to just a fun standpoint. Fun is always my number one factor. Co-Carnage talks about this a lot. Making sure, like, to avoid burnout, you focus on the fun first, and then that can help you avoid the burnout. Fun is important, but for me, I'm always trying to focus on the fun meeting the finance, and how can I blend those two to grow the channel, grow the numbers, make more money, grow the Twitch, grow the YouTube, all those things. Valentina following over on Twitch, thank you so much for the follow. We're multi-streaming right now as an example, so we're always focused on how can we do bigger things. This post over here talks about the next 6 weeks. I was like, first and foremost, we started a new homesteading live stream at 4 o'clock in the morning, where it's our cats and the chickens and Chris outside doing chores. That's like 4:30 in the morning to 8:30 in the morning. Talking about, the Twitch growth, the 2 streams a day that we're doing right now, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. Just wrapped up Star Wars Outlaws, wrapped up Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. We're doing a little bit of No Man's Sky still. We're starting Shattered Space DLC at the end of the month. We're starting our Starfield run on the 20th. That becomes the main stream game for the day-to-day streams at 9 a.m. Central. It's our second playthrough, which we were playing in May, and now we're picking it back up to roll into that. And then we're getting into the Diablo 4 DLC, rolling into New World Eternum after that, the Black Ops 6 campaign, and then Dragon Age the Veilguard, which becomes, rolls into November. And then in November, I've got Assassin's Creed Shadows and Stalker 2. And then December, we've got Indiana Jones and the Great Circle and blah, 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 blah. This is just a reminder to people of the next 6 weeks. And then I have a video about the next 6 months. So we'll go back to the game now so that you guys can see this beautiful visage and pay attention to this. So there's a couple of components I would answer here. For Select 20, which is how many games you're playing at once. How do you schedule that? Well, that honestly just kind of depends on the given month. Any given month that's out there, there's generally 2 or 3 releases I'm probably going to want to play. So I just try to factor that in, but there's also some games that I always play on a long-term basis. So as an example, I have a long-term commit with World of Warcraft, which I started in November of last year because of the World Soul Saga. So we have a community there. We play together on Wednesdays and Saturday nights. So I'm always going to play World of Warcraft on Wednesdays and Saturdays because I have a community of people there. Those people watch my videos. Those people tune into the streams, and we're always growing. So that's there. Lord of the Rings Online and Star Wars: Old Republic are games that I have played since launch, and I have playlists on this channel that have hundreds of videos in them. But I don't main these games anymore. I was not planning on playing this game this year until we saw, that there was a lot of traffic around of news posts that I did. And well, it's the cost of opportunity. So how do I fit Lord of the Rings Online into my existing schedule to take advantage of the fact that people are hungry for the content and want to watch videos around it, and they're doing well in the algorithm? I would be stupid not to do Lord of the Rings Online this year, even if I didn't necessarily have plans for it, because the cost of opportunity is there. So this one got smudged in on Monday nights because I had Monday nights free. I don't normally stream at nights, but then I decided, why not? It's the cost of opportunity. If I want to do channel growth and I want to see better numbers, we'll fit this in there. Then around that, I look for games that I know are going to please me as a gamer, but also are things that I know are going to do well for the channel. And this is where it's going to depend on a few things. Because as an example, a recent game that came out was, is it Black Myth Wukong, I think is what it's called. That would have done good numbers for the channel, for both channels, for YouTube and Twitch. But I chose not to play it willingly because I don't like action combat games. And I was already busy with Star Wars Outlaws, the War Within launch, and Space Marine 2. I had already had those games planned out. So trying to fit Black Myth Wukong in for like 2 or 3 days before the War Within launched was like, there's no point in me spending $70 on that game when I'm not going to be able to give it its due course. Maybe next year when I have nothing else to do, I might play that game. I just don't typically like action combat. I do tend to focus on RPGs more than anything else because RPGs allow me to do a variety of things. It's not just streaming a game. It's also the fact that I can create class guides, tips and trick guides, build guides. So I can play a river hobbit. I can play a halfling, right? So I can create a racial guide. I can create starting zone guides. I can create guides around that. But then I could say it's a burglar, so now I could do burglar guides, a low-level burglar guide, a medium-level burglar guide, a high-level burglar guide. Oh, I have a hunter. There's a hunter video. There's a hunter guide, a low-level hunter guide, a medium-level hunter guide. There's the other guide. How do you get mounts? There's a mount guide. Best starting zones in the game. There's that. I did my LOTRO tourism series back in the day where we took locations from the books and found them in the game, and we traveled with the Fellowship, you know, up to the Misty Mountains. So I'm always looking at what are games that I can play that are going to do well on the stream, but also allow me to create content around them beyond the streams, because I've told people we're coming up on 3 years of doing this full time. And I've said for a long time, I'm not a streamer, I'm a content creator, because streaming has always been secondary to the content creation, because content creation makes up like 80 to 85% of my revenue comes from the ad revenue on YouTube. That has slowly been skewing more towards the streaming side since I started adding Twitch into the repertoire as of October of last year. We're able to multi-stream now. So now that the Twitch audience is growing, I'm making revenue through Twitch as well now. That's growing at a far more rapid pace than YouTube, percentage-wise. YouTube is much bigger. We crossed 36,000 followers on YouTube the other day. It still makes up like 90% of my revenue is YouTube. But because content creation has always been where I make the bulk of my money, I'm focused on long-term SEO content. What are the videos that people are going to be searching for when they go to Google or when they go to YouTube? And so it's all about what are the types of games that I can play that allow me to create 25, 35, 45, 50 videos around the streams so that I can make the guides, play the streams, use the streams to promote the guides, and that's all part of a bigger picture. So I do focus on fun, but I do have a business strategy, and I do pay attention to the games that I can create the most amount of content around. There are exceptions to those rules when I know they're going to be short games. So as an example, a couple months back, I did Flintlock, which was a Game Pass Day 1 release, like 10 hours. So I was able to squeeze that in over like 2 or 3 days of streams and just bang it out. And I didn't do any guides around it. I did an early thoughts video. I did the streams. I cut those into 30-minute episodes for a Let's Play series on YouTube. And then I did a final review. That was it. Nobody Wants to Die, I think was another one. It was like a sci-fi detective noir game, first person, super cool. Little 6-hour, 8-hour game. Smudged it in there in between a bunch of other stuff I was doing. Then I have things like No Man's Sky. I was playing games and I was doing a bunch of first impressions videos in between major releases, looking for something, just playing things and looking for fun things to do. And I threw like 6 videos at the wall. I did like 6 first impressions videos of games I hadn't played before. I did a No Man's Sky video that took off and went crazy, and I went, well, shit. I like the game. I'm having fun. Let's do No Man's Sky for a few weeks. That's what we just wrapped up doing, like right before Star Wars Outlaws and stuff. because I dropped a No Man's Sky video on the channel that did like 50,000 views, and I went, well, I would be stupid not to go play No Man's Sky when I'm having fun with it and the audience is reacting to it. That was one of those ones that was like the cost of opportunity. It was like I would be stupid to pass this up, but it wasn't planned. Other games I planned. So generally speaking, I try to do 2 or 3 new releases every month. And if they are 25 to 30 hour games to 40, like so let's say 30 to 40 hour games, I can generally get through 2 or 3 of those in a month. I typically right now I'm streaming 6 to 7 hours a day, and then I do video creation around that. So I typically, the alarm goes off at 4 o'clock, and I work from 4:30 until about, kind of depends on the day, 6:30 at night. I do take a nap in the afternoon. I help Chris as often as I can with grocery shopping and stuff. But I log 12 to 14 hour days pretty much every single day, sometimes 16 hour days. And that's it. There's a TikTok video from a few months ago that, don't ask me how I did it, I just did it. It was hard, you know, and that's literally what it's like. It's like you just put your nose to the grindstone, put in the hours, and do it. But everything for me is, it has to be structured. And so having a structure helps me finish games because I have an objective of saying I have 2 weeks to get this done before that launches. So I've got to get this game done. And every game I do is going to get an early thoughts video. It's going to get a final review. Typically speaking, we're going to do some class guides. There's a few videos that I will always do. Those two, I will also usually do like, what class should you play? And I almost always do an ultimate beginner's guide for every game that I play, which is an accumulation of my thoughts as a beginner for other beginners. So most games, I have about 10 to 12 videos that I will make around those games, plus the streams, and then I'm off to the next thing. So hopefully that answers your question, Select 20. That's how I schedule my gaming. And again, the caveat here is that because I do this for a living, you know, it's a little different for me because I'm not just playing for a hobby. But typically, how many games I'm playing at once, it's going to change on a month-to-month basis. But at any given time, I'm usually only playing about, I guess it just depends. Like, I usually have the main stream game that's going on, plus World of Warcraft, and then, like, right now we're doing Lord of the Rings Online on Monday nights and No Man's Sky on Sunday mornings. So there's 4 games that I'm playing at any given time. That's probably about the max. So I would say 3 to 4 at any given time. But it's very structured. Everything's laid out on specific days. The mainstream game is always going to be at like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning Central Time, and I'll play for like 3 hours. And that's every single day. And then the evening streams are broken up into the games that I only play like once a week or twice a week, like Lord of the Rings Online and World of Warcraft. Those happen at nights. No Man's Sky is 5 a.m. Central Time on Sunday mornings because I have a pretty significant European following for that game. So I do that one on Sunday mornings when the European audience is in the afternoons and they're able to just hang out, and they're not busy with work and other stuff. So yeah, that's the roundabout answer to your question, Select, and hopefully that was an educational video. Joshua Carn says, I used to use notebooks. Do it again. Good advice. Yeah, the notebooks saved my life. And yes, it's all about maximizing your time and output for sure. So work smarter, not harder is the key there. And it's not, every month is a little different. But as a general rule, yeah, I'm playing 3 or 4 games at any given time. And to be honest with you, for a long time, when you just said that, I'm thinking of the goblins from World of Warcraft. Time is money, friend. Time is money. It's very true. All right. Let's get back on track here. There is a path, I think, somewhere here. And for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, welcome. multi-streaming on YouTube and Twitch, so you can watch where you prefer. The daily streams happen at 9 or 10 a.m., 9 to 10 a.m.-ish, Central Time every single morning. Uh-oh, did we just have... I'm checking my internet to see if this is a me internet thing or if the server's just crashed. That might be my internet. Nope, it wasn't. I think it was just... Yeah, I think it was just a hiccup. I'm moving some stuff around here. Benzin said, I was more interested in Outlaws. No one was covering it as much. Everyone was covering Black Mythics, so I ended up watching all your Outlaws videos on YouTube. Also, everyone else on YouTube was talking about Outlaws, which is crapping on it, so it was really refreshing to hang out with you and have some old school nerdy fun with Star Wars. This channel is inherently more enjoyable due to the sheer enthusiasm of gaming. I think enthusiasm goes a long way. So thanks, Vanzin. That's over on Twitch, by the way, if you're on YouTube, and because we can't cross the chat. It's kind of an annoying thing that we can't do because of Twitch regulations, but it is what it is. I appreciate that. We talk about this from time to time. I try very hard to avoid rage bait on my channel. I play games for fun. I watch movies for fun. I read books for fun. Gaming was always a hobby for me before it became what I was doing for a living. And I worked in game dev for 10 years, you know, so it's a passion for me. And why shit on my passion? Like, I don't want to play video games to be angry. I don't know how I'm going to get around here, guys. There might be a valley down here we have to follow. I don't play games to get pissed off. I have had games that I played that pissed me off. I think when we were living, a few years ago when we were living in Mexico City, I was playing, I think it's, which is the PlayStation? I think it's Gran Turismo is the PlayStation one and Forza Motorsport is the Xbox one. It's the PlayStation one, and I was doing the online racing and trying to do it on a controller, and you know I didn't have a steering wheel stick or a racing sim set up, and I was just getting stomped in the multiplayer. And Chris would laugh at me because I would play for like 45 minutes and I would just get extremely pissed off because I would be getting my ass kicked while playing that racing game. That one made me angry. I was like, no. But for the most part, you know, I play to have fun. I don't play to be angry, so we try to avoid rage bait on the channel. And I genuinely like to share my enthusiasm for games. I will critique things when I see them, but as a general, I don't put things on the channel if it's going to be something I didn't enjoy. A good example of this is there was a game. It was like a top-down isometric. It's a sci-fi game. It started with an A. And I'm forgetting the name of it right now. But it was like a Blade Runner-ish game. The Ascent. I think it's called The Ascent. And I think it launched a couple of years ago. And I remember playing it when it came out. And I really wanted to like it. Because the soundtrack was really cool, and I loved the storyline and everything. And then I played it, and I really didn't like the combat. Like, really, really, really didn't like the combat. And I just let it go. I just uninstalled it, and I moved on about my day. I didn't even make a first impressions video or any... I might have made a first impressions video. That's not true. But I didn't play the game, and I didn't review it after that. It was a thing where I just let it go. Because I recognized that it wasn't for me. But rather than shit all over the game, I chose to just move on and go do other things. Whereas other people will just like, oh, this is going to get us lots of clicks. Let's go make a rage baity video and get all the clicks. Like the Star Wars Outlaws stuff. Most people just want to rage about how it should have been Han Solo. The character's ugly. Yeah, we don't do any of that stuff. We don't permit ranting about the DEI, or we don't permit the woke conversations on this channel. I don't permit political discussions on this channel. Anybody who tries to come in and be like, this game is garbage, we just mute those people. I cultivate my audience extremely. So on YouTube in particular, you can just hide people from the channel if they're being little bitches, and they can rant into the void. And so I hide people all the time because I curate my community. I only want people here who are here to have fun together, not to, you know, rant about stupid things that have nothing to do with whether a video game is a good or fun game. So I appreciate that comment over on Twitch, Vanson, because that means I'm doing my job at providing a safe place for people to come together and enjoy video games. Siskin says, I'm trying to play for the first time. What server do I roll on? I have a great video that I'm going to link you to here in a minute once I get to a safe spot, because I literally just did a video here on YouTube a couple of weeks ago. Let me look it up and I'll link it to everybody, because this is a perfect video for Lord of the Rings Online. Let's go in here and find it, because someone asked this question the other day during a live stream, and it gave us a great discussion point of, should you play a legendary server or should you play a free-to-play server? Like, where should you start? I gotta find the video now. This is what happens when you do a ton of videos. All right, here we go. Here's the video. Should you play legendary or normal servers if you are a new player to the Lord of the Rings Online? Let me drop this into chat. So there's the link, everybody, on YouTube and Twitch. If you want to click that link, you can go watch that video. That'll give you your answer, Siskind. You're playing for the first time. What server do you roll on? That's the video we want to watch. It's going to give you a breakdown between the legendary and the normal servers, and why you might want to choose a free-to-play server versus a paid VIP server like the legendary server of Angmar that we're playing on right now, or the European Mordor server. Elvis Messias says, saludos, hi. ¿Qué onda, Elvis? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pedo, wey? ¿Qué pasa, Chris? Nada. ¿Estás bien? Tranquilo. ¿Disfrutaste su margarita con mango? ¿Tomaste dos? Ok. Más gente en español. Está bien. Tal vez un día me voy a hacer un stream en español, pero no es ese día. You're welcome, Siskind. Alright, let me close all these tabs over here because they're going to confuse me. Somewhere around here is an NPC. Well, it just says find the Dunlendines, actually. So, it should be somewhere right around here. Probably inside these ruins is what we're looking for. ¿No existe LOTRO en español? No! I wish it did. So, Chris played this game with me 3 years ago? She did EverQuest 2 for like 6 weeks, then she did World of Warcraft for about 6 weeks, and then she did Lord of the Rings Online for about 6 weeks. That was her only foray into MMORPGs, or games in general. She played with me, and my wife is Mexican, and which one did you love the most out of those 3 games? I know it was the easiest to play World of Warcraft because they had it in Spanish for you. ¿De qué disfrutaste más? EverQuest 2, Lord of the Rings, Señor de los Anillos, or Warcraft? EverQuest 2. Wow. I was not expecting that answer. EverQuest 2 was the one she enjoyed the most. But yeah, it would be great if some of these games did more localization, because I think if they took the time to translate Lord of the Rings into Spanish, it would be a cool thing. But there's a lot of text in this game. That would be a huge undertaking. Well, you're welcome. I'm glad you enjoy tips and everything else. It would be cool if they did it in Spanish. There's a big market. Oh, there are some half-orcs here, but I'm not seeing Dunlendines. Really? What am I looking for here? Oh, here we are. 2 scouts reach for their weapons, but the third shakes her head to stop them.
We are all devoted in these lands.
Riddick sent a Tuvia there to check on us. Has he no faith? With no Riddick to glare at, the woman settles for the next best thing, glaring at you. A few seconds pass before she relents and sighs. Perhaps I am being too hasty, as he would say. If you truly intend to aid us, then I'll allow it.
Aye?
These Hathors serve a wizard who is bent on spreading his war as far as he can. We plan to assassinate the Hellfolk leaders, but Riddick was captured in the attempt. Rescuing him put the entire camp on high alert. Since we are currently one short, you can act as the distraction. Fight the half-orcs so that the 3 of us can move in undetected. Yes, but also, where do I find... Do I have any more... Nice. Well, I just burned up all my destiny, but hey. Fantasy is pretty cool. EverQuest 2 is very slow but satisfying. Yeah, it's definitely slow-paced. But I think the cool thing about LOTRO is... Or excuse me, a good thing about EverQuest 2 is, like, the way it's presented with big chat bubbles, and it's got good voiceovers, and it's not fully voiced, but it's close. You know, I was not expecting her to say that. That was interesting. That was an interesting answer. It's a good game. I've played the shit out of it. I don't really play it anymore, but we did go back a little bit to do the most recent TLE. I think we played for a few weeks. That was it. Chris Roberts says they should just do like today's college students, use ChatGPT to do the localizations. Unfortunately, ChatGPT does not do a good enough job with translations. It's okay, but it's not perfect. I love the fact that you can chuck a dagger. These guys are all ranged. Ah. Oh, I got a quest item. It's a necklace. Found on a defeated half-orc. Must have been taken as a trophy from someone recently. The materials that were used to craft the necklace are clearly not local. Hey, Chris, are all the cats inside? Or are they get the door open and they're outside? Okay. ¿Y la blanca? Cerrada. Está cerrada. Todos están afuera. Sale conmigo la cerrada. Yo hablé contigo cuando nosotros tomamos una margarita en la puerta que Pippin salió conmigo. Sí, Pippin está afuera igual. Okay. Need a few more of these guys. Crowd control for the win. Let's hold on this one. Alright, we're just gonna bum rush here. Probably gonna get mobbed from behind here. Nope, we're good. Let's get out of here and go turn in. Darth Cetheus over on Twitch says, hey Renfail in chat, just wanted to say thank you for your videos on LOTRO over on YouTube. It got me into playing a few weeks ago around work and playing Star Wars: The Republic, which is your current main game. Star Wars: The Republic is a phenomenal game. That's the one game that I wish more than any other of the older games that I play. I wish they would add controller support to Star Wars: The Republic, because I play World of Warcraft with a controller, because Blizzard added controller support in Shadowlands. And so I just do Bluetooth with my Xbox controller and I play it that way. And World of Warcraft retail plays almost exactly the same with Star Wars: The Republic in terms of character movement and the abilities and everything else. And I would probably play Lord of the Rings. I would probably play Star Wars: The Republic again as a regular game on the channel if they added controller support. I just don't really like to do mouse and keyboard anymore because of just tendinitis and stuff over the years. I love Star Wars: The Republic. It is a phenomenal game. Much like LOTRO, I have thousands of hours and dozens of characters in that game. There's a huge playlist here on YouTube around Star Wars: The Republic. I played last year even. I think that was the most recent. I think we did a 3-month block last year playing through the most getting to the current content. I have not played since Broadsword took over, but Broadsword has done amazing things for that game. I love how Broadsword has just kind of taken Star Wars: The Republic to new heights, because it was kind of stagnant under the previous administration. And I love BioWare to death, but EA was smothering them. So when it was able to get loose of EA and into, people who had previously worked in the game, Broadsword has done great things like updating the shaders and adding new die packs and new content, and the companions with the date night stuff that they've added for storylines, which adds more, player agency with the companion systems and the romantic relationships you can have. It's in a good place for an older game. Glad you're having fun though, and I'm glad you enjoy the LOTRO videos.
Won't you lend me your aid?
Yes, I know the owner. The half-orcs must have taken it off of Reddick when they captured him. If you'd like to return to him, he should still be resting at the camp near Tharbad, southwest of here.
Won't you lend me your aid?
Oh, we gotta go all the way back down there? Where am I bound? We're just gonna recall and then fast travel back down the Greenway outside of Tharbad. Tracy asks over on YouTube, how am I liking the River Hobbits? I've been genuinely impressed with the starting areas. I did not know how it all... The starting areas here have been genuinely fun. And I think the thing I really liked, which I talked about, I think I did a video on this last week. Like, I was doing these quests in Cardalon for the book quest, right? And it was all about Celebrimbor and the forging of the rings, which is happening right now in Season 2 of Rings of Power. So it was really cool to, like, the timing was just coincidental, but it's really cool to be, like, watching Rings of Power Season 2 and having all of those things happening, and then seeing that play out at the same time in game. That was really cool. Alright, I'm seeing that people are saying that there's no sound over on Twitch. It looks like there might have been an internet hiccup because at the same time my character stopped running in game. So I think we might have had an internet hiccup on my end. I think we're getting kicked from the game, so... No, it's definitely an internet issue. So I'm going to do something real quick, and hopefully we don't lose everything. We're definitely gonna. I'm gonna switch my Ethernet over. So let me type something in chat. Alright, theoretically, I think we're good. We're about to find out in a minute. I switched Ethernet cables, so we're on the backup internet right now. This is what when you're living in the middle of nowhere, guys. We occasionally have internet hiccups. I'm genuinely curious if it's going to kick me from the game or not. Because we did switch Ethernet cables in the middle of that. Because, yeah, I knew that something had happened because even the horse just paused in the middle. I was like, there's no server lag on this server, so that's got to be on my end. And it also did it earlier, I noticed. So I think we're just having internet issues tonight. So I'm on the backup connection now. I think we're good. Let me know when you guys get audio again on Twitch. It does take a couple of minutes to come back. Alright, I think we're good. I think we're okay now. That just was an internet hiccup, so thankfully it didn't disconnect anybody. It just lost some audio there and paused our horse. Ooh, I like that guy's cloak. That's like the Rohan cloak, but he's got it dyed red. I don't think it's the Rohan one, though, because the Rohan cloak has a horse on it. So I'm not sure what cloak he has. Let's inspect him. What are your outfits, sir? There we go. This one right here. Cloak of the Helmingus. Huh. That's a whole cosmetics set. Very nice. Tracy Morris says, you did a quick fix. I was able to make it work. Not always. It doesn't always work that way. Darth says streaming audio is fine for me. Okay, cool. Looks like we're back from that little internet hiccup, so we're good to go. Valentina445 over on Twitch says, what's up? What's up? Dungeon Master Bushy says, all systems go over on YouTube. All right, I think we've recovered. But I am on the backup internet, guys, now, so there may be some wonkiness because this internet sometimes, we'll see. We have a homestead in the middle of nowhere in southeast Mexico, and I do have 2 internet connections because we live in the middle of nowhere. Generally speaking, My main connection is good, like 90% of the time, but it's been having some issues the last couple of weeks. And it's not them. So because of where we live, we're in a small town. We're 2.5 hours away from a major city, which is where the hub is. So there's one big fiber line that runs to the city. And the two internet companies that provide internet in our town, actually there's 3 companies, they all use that same fiber line to the city. So whenever there's an issue to the city, everybody will have issues. And about 2 weeks ago, there was a massive storm that happened, and everybody had issues because there was some flooding that happened and some issues. And ever since that, my main connection has had some hiccups. We either lose the audio on Twitch, or YouTube will get an encoder issue and everybody will get like a green screen or a gray screen. And when that happens, I have to restart the whole stream because it bugs it out. So, but I also have it's a weird, don't worry about it. We're back. We're good to go. What's my favorite cloak in the game? Asks Tracy Morris. It's not on this character. It's on, I don't even think is it on this account? So my Shire Hobbit Minstrel has a cloak which has a glow effect on it, and I don't know the name of the cloak off of hand. But I dyed it to what is the name of the green? I can't remember the color green that I dyed it. It's one of the greens. Ashen Glades green. I know it's Ashen Glade green. So I have a cloak on my other Hobbit. You would have to dig into my playlist and find it, because I can't just switch over characters, because I would have to completely log out and go to the other server, and it'd take too long. But I do have a really cool cloak that I spent a lot of money on to get the dye colors and everything else, because it has a glow effect on it. So it has this really cool, like, bluish spiritual glow to this green cloak on my minstrel. It just looks really, really cool. That's by far my favorite cloak. Gabrielle says, greetings from Brazil. This is a fantastic Tolkien world indeed. Darth Sethia says, I stopped playing retail a while back during Warlords, played Classic because I rather than played Star Wars since January. Welcome to the channel, Avigoras, over on Twitch. Dungeon Master Bushy says, I put fiber in the ground in rural areas, but Mexico's a bit far for hookup. So, what's funny is I have cable internet, and then I also have a fiber connection. The fiber connection, this is the fun part. 2 blocks from where I live, the telephone company has gigabit service. 2 blocks from where I live. Chris went and offered. We offered to pay several $1,000s to, like, run that fiber up to our block. It's like, I'll pay for the installation. I'll pay for you guys to run. And they were like, no, we gotta wait. We can't do it unless there's enough of a pre-order list to and I was like, even if I pay for it, like, nah, we can't. So unfortunately, I can't get the gigabit service because they won't run it where I live. It's literally 2 blocks from our house is where it runs through. They just follow the highway through town. However, there's a local engineer that works for the telephone company who started a company of his own in recent years, and he has the gigabit service, and what he does is he sublets out. And he originally started offering Wi-Fi service, so he put up a tower on his house and started beaming wireless internet to all the people around town who couldn't get high-speed internet because they were too far out for the cable company to go to. Then they started installing fiber last year, like last summer, and they put a fiber box up on the telephone pole outside my home, and I was like, hi, who are you guys installing fiber? So I've been using their fiber for the last year for my streams, and it's 95% of the time it's been rock solid until about 2 weeks ago when that storm happened, and ever since then we've had hiccups like we saw earlier, a little bit ago. It sucks. It is what it is. But I do have a fiber and a cable, and Starlink is available where I live, so worst comes to worst, I will always just go get Starlink. I'm not gonna do the seasonal quests. We did ding though, which means we have some points to spend. Oh, I have a whole bunch of points to spend. Oh, I'm definitely going to take the self-heal. We also unlocked Blind Bet. We also got Reveal Weakness. That reduces the target's finesse. That's the Cure Poison. Let's put that over here. Double-edged strike. So that one's also a double-edged strike ability. So now I have two that trigger off of double-edged strike. That one does a red gamble to the target, and this one does a blue gamble to the target. I'm going to put that up here. Alright, we have a deed. Alright, I think we could probably go do the class quest at the moment, and then we can come back here and look at doing some more of the quests in this area. I think that sounds like a good plan. Let's move that up there. Let's ride to Bree.
Greetings, friend.
If I remember correctly, I think we have to go to Mossward to be able to get to Bree. Excuse me. This game is a gem in the MMO space, says Jilly. It is. It has a special place in my heart because it's the only Lord of the Rings game out there that gives me a place to go to Middle-earth, which I appreciate. It definitely is, you know, it's older, lacks some quality of life stuff. It's very slow. It's very slow, tab target, old school target, you know. And for players who come over from like Guild Wars 2, they're like, oh my god, I can't handle it, you know, or ESO or something where it's fast-paced action target. They try to
Hello there.
makes him trigger a little bit. Westbury, there we go. But it's a fun game. Darth Sith says, LOTRO has been rather enjoyable the past few weeks amidst learning the game itself, getting characters created on a free-to-play server, and questioning my champion. Nice. Sam Milliman says, do you have a WoW guild, and can new players join? We do have a WoW guild. I play World of Warcraft on Wednesdays and Saturday nights at 6 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Central. Our guild is on the Moonguard server. We are not currently recruiting, but we will be opening up some positions for the raid party when we start raiding in October. So, if you want to know more, in my Discord, and links are down below, there is a World of Warcraft channel in my Discord where you can pay attention to, and when we decide to open up recruitment, we will let people know in that channel. We will be looking for a few very specific classes when that time comes. I can't predict what those classes will be. We won't know until we get to raiding in October to see where we need to fill in gaps. But we're not mass recruiting right now. It's very selective recruiting. So yes and no, if that makes sense. We don't have a problem with new players at all. We have quite a few people who were new to the game who have joined us along the way. But it is very much, we're very selective about who joins. person I am looking for is... Are you in a building? Aha! The Lowbanks Estate. I think this is where I'm going. I think. Not entirely sure. But I think this is where we're heading. It is. Burglar trainer. Ooh, okay. That's a cute little place. Current quest, a pressing matter.
A lovely day,
I'm
isn't
glad to see you received the note that I sent you. I think this is something that will help you greatly.
it? Stay and have some tea.
Hello, friend Telemar. You've become a burglar of no small skill, but you and I both know that's not enough. An adequate burglar is simply not good enough if the task calls for an accomplished burglar, after all. It might not be too late, though. I've heard of just such an accomplished burglar, and it could be that he can give you the advice you need to become more than simply adequate. Then again, he might not, but there's no harm in trying. Look for Atherol Took at Adso's camp, west of Bree, between here and Buckland. If you have it in you to become a truly accomplished burglar, Atherol might be able to tease it out of you. So every class at level 15 gets a class quest in LOTRO. I think all of them send you to Adso's camp, if I remember correctly. Well, maybe not all of them. I feel like most of them do. So we're gonna ride, boldly ride. Whoa. I may need some more coffee. Got a half a cup. I need to finish. Can you go out right here? No, that leads to the bank. I forgot. It's another bank slot right there. It's been very interesting doing the River Hobbit starting area because it's so different to these old school zones. When I came across Boromir last week, dude, that was wicked cool. I was not expecting that at all, especially considering we had that conversation before about wouldn't it be cool? I think I even mentioned this last week. Somebody else needs to go do it because I don't have the time. But wouldn't it be cool if someone were to go do Boromir's journey on like either a Let's Play series or a live stream? But like, go start off in Minas Tirith and travel to Rivendell following Boromir's in his footsteps. That would be a really cool journey to do. But coming across him in Cardolan was like, this is awesome. Especially the way they introduce you to him, where it's like, you hear the sound of fighting to the east, and you go over there and you see a man who has defeated a bunch of orcs, and there's just orc corpses everywhere. And then it's like, the name pops up, and you're like, oh my god, it's Boromir! Alright, we are looking for a burglar here. Who's supposed to teach me something. Atherol Took. Greetings, burglar Telemar. I will forgive you for spoiling my imminent theft of that delicious roast cooking over there, since you might be able to help me with something. I've learned that a small group of brigands plan to sneak into old Maggot's farm in the Marish to steal some of his prized mushrooms. Now those mushrooms are a real delicacy, and it would be a shame if the brigands deprived poor old Maggot of them. After all, if anyone's going to be sneaking mushrooms, it should be us. Am I right? He is right, and we're going to do that. However, I'm going to duck out really quick and take a bio, everybody, and then we're going to come back and do this quest. And go from there. Hang on. Why is that withering cloak? I must have accidentally linked that. Alright. Bio. I'll be right back. brought Pippin in the room for a bit, so she's yeah, she was just sitting underneath the table over there. I'm gonna bring her in here because we're keeping an eye on her. She got a bath today, and she had a fall and perforated her abdomen, and she was in a body bandage for like 3 months, and she's been out of it for like 2 months, maybe 2 months. But we're noticing where her scar is. She was nibbling at it the last couple of days, and we could feel. And she's expulsed. The last time it happened, she had surgery, and then over the course of like 3 months after the surgery, there was complications, and like there was debris that the vet didn't get out of the wound, and it like expulsed out of the body and it had created some abscesses. So she was out by herself, and I wanted to bring her back in here so we can keep an eye on her so that she's not like nibbling at it in the dark. Because we don't know if you've got something else that's coming out, like another little piece of rock or something. Or dirt. You're a good girl. Yes, you are. She's a good kitty. Yeah, she had a rough time. When she got spayed, she got an abscess and had to have 2 surgeries. And then when she had the abdominal surgery, she went in twice. First time, and then she had to go back in again because the internal stitches that were supposed to absorb did not absorb. They expulsed out of her body. So she ended up having like 5 little abscesses around the. It was not. She was not a happy camper. If you go back and watch the streams from like May, like April, May, and June into July, she was just always in here in my chairs, like in a bandage, in a body suit. And it sucks that we're having to pay attention to her again. But Chris noticed it like 2 days ago. She had some bite marks around her scar area. So I got to keep an eye on her. Alright. Let's go do this quest. We're going to go steal some mushrooms from Farmer Maggot.
The Hobbit burglar Athrol Duck has learned that some of the big folk who have been causing trouble in the South Farthing of the Shire are planning to sneak onto Farmer Maggot's
Matter of fact, this
land
is one of her
and
body
steal
bandages
his
right here.
mushrooms.
We put her in it last night.
Athrol has no intention
We'll
of
probably put it
allowing
in, we're going to
Hobbit
put it on her again
mushrooms
tonight. She'll sleep with us
stolen
tonight.
by men.
Men? How dare they try to steal mushrooms? I love this music.
Hello?
According to my information, the Provisioner of the Blackwalds was going to send some of his cronies here tonight to steal as many mushrooms as they could carry. I'll keep watch here. Search the farm for the brigands. Use your skill to quietly put an end to them. I'll meet you back here when you've taken care of them all. Stay alert. It's a dark night, and the brigands may be hiding anywhere around the farm. Oh, and collect some mushrooms while you're at it. No self-respecting burglar would leave the farm without a few of Maggot's delicious mushrooms, but take care of his dogs. Get too close and they'll sniff you out, no matter how sneaky you might think you're being. Good luck. I do have a soft spot for cats, Tracy. Drives my wife nuts because we have 8 of them. It's my fault we have 8 cats. It's not my fault we have 8 cats. Dora the mom. 2 of them were my fault because the feral cats that she showed up with. The mama cat showed up when we bought this place, when we bought this homestead property. Mama cat showed up starving with a couple of feral kittens, and I adopted those, and it turns out she was pregnant, and the vets wouldn't do a late-term pregnancy spay, so we just had to take them to term, and then we had 5 more. So, and then we also adopted Snow White along the way, and then Chris has like 30 chickens in the backyard. We do have a bunch of animals. Matter of fact, for folks who are new or don't know this, we just started a new live stream series yesterday morning. We've done 2 mornings in a row now over on the Homestead channel. If you didn't know we had a Homestead channel, now you do, guys. We do have a Homestead channel, and we started a new series over there. I get up at 4 in the morning, and at 4:15, 4:30, we're starting a catio chicken coop backyard live stream that we've been doing for 2 mornings now. That goes from about 4:30 in the morning until about 8:30 in the morning, Mountain Time. And it's just I set up my phone out over the catio in the chicken coop, and people can listen to the crickets and the chickens. They can watch the cats run around in the catio and chase bugs and stuff. And then I go out and do some chores, and then Chris goes out and do some chores, and then we finish with breakfast. And I answer some questions from whoever's hanging out. And then we finish the stream, and we come in here, and we move into the game stream at 9 a.m. Central. Yeah, that's a new thing. We just started doing that. So if everybody wants more cat stuff, you can go find that. Are you going to go visit Mommy? If you're going to visit Mommy, I'm going to need to... You're being naughty. You're not supposed to do that to the mattress, honey. What are you doing? You're not supposed to scratch the mattress like that. No, you're not. Oh, just a good girl. Why don't you go hang out with Mommy? Mommy's in bed. Go give her some biscuits. Well, to be fair, a lot of that is just because I used to get up early all the time for construction when I used to run my construction company. But also, our cats don't let us sleep. It's a no. They're yowling for food at like 3:30, 4 o'clock, and if you're not out, like they'll sit here at the door and just Spiegel in particular, because he weighs about what 7 kilos. He's like 13, 14 pounds, and he does that thing. If you've ever seen like cats on TikTok or something, where they like will turn around and thump the door with their back foot and be like, thut, 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 thut. He doesn't do it with his back feet. He jumps on the door with his front paws, and he just starts banging on the door like bam, 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 bam. So either my alarm clock goes off, or some of the cats are out there banging on the door at like 4 o'clock, 3:30. Wake up and feed us. And then if we sleep out in the big bed that they have access to, Smeagol gets in bed at like 3:30 and starts pulling your hair if you don't. And Lucas gets right up in your face and like howls at you. Frodo does the same thing. Frodo bothers Chris more than me though, because he's like Christina's cat. But they all have their little things of like, Mommy, Daddy, wake up, give us some food. I still need mushrooms. I didn't see any mushrooms. Were those in the field? He said something about dogs. Ah, here we go. Apu says, hey, long time no see on a LOTRO server. Yeah. Talk to Athrall Took. Those are the dogs. God, now I gotta remember which field he was at the edge of, because I totally got turned around in here. I don't think this is the right field. Nope, this is, yeah, that's the wrong edge. I got turned around. I'm totally lost. We gotta go back across the way over here. Tracy says, loves their names. My kitty cat, bro, Felix, doesn't let my dad sleep either. He has to have his morning food or he'll mow the house down. Yeah, that's Frodo, who's Christina's cat. Well, him and Lucas both just meow, 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 meow. Smeagol's the one who starts meowing, and then if you don't listen to him, he starts pulling your hair. And he's not nice about it. Like, he pulls your hair hard, or he'll start slamming the door.
Is there something I can do for you?
Did you hear that? Are those dogs barking? What's that sound? Oh, here comes a Blackwalled provisioner being chased. Looks like his mushroom stealing days are over. Here comes Wolf Grip Fang. Nice. Little Easter egg for the book readers. These little things that make this game such a little gem for people who love Middle-earth. Yeah, we have Luke and Leia are the first ones from the first two, the two feral kittens, and then we have the other ones are Frodo. We have Frodo, Sam, Merry Pippin, and Smeagol. Sam's no longer with us, but in his place we have Snow White, who we adopted.
Just a moment.
You did a good thing, Telemon. Frobber Maggot's delicious mushrooms have been spared from falling into the hands of the Black Wolves, who don't deserve them. We, however, certainly do deserve them, and the mushrooms you collected can be our payment from Frogger Maggot for the service we did for him. I'm sure he'd be pleased with the arrangement, so there's no need to speak with him about it. No need at all. I think it's clear that you're a very effective burglar. You've certainly handled yourself well around those brigands. They'll fear your shadow from now on. If they have any sense, for you are quite skilled. Alright, we got a new helmet, which is very nice, but I need my cosmetics, so let's go over here to outfit 1. Oh gosh darn it, click the wrong button. Where is that hood? There we go. Now I'm properly cosmeticed out. Where did you go, Pippin? What's up, sweetie? Go to bed with Mom. I think this guy's cosmetic looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but looks a little burglary. Christopher Rubber says, "How do you not have a million things in your bag?" Well, that's because over the years I don't touch anything. This character is just. I'm only playing this character for the purpose of doing content that I've never seen before. So I'm not doing crafting. I don't care about gear. I'm only doing the quest gear. So as a result, I don't care about anything. The other thing here is I already offloaded all of those. Like, I have 17 years worth of anniversary gifts in boxes and stuff, and I threw all those in the bank. So because I'm not harvesting and I'm not crafting on this character, that helps me. So I could go sell all of this stuff right now, and I'm not going to give a shit about anything other than that hood, because I do want that hood for my cosmetics. So I will go in here and I will lock the hood so that I don't accidentally sell it. There it is, stitched hood. Lock that, and then everything else, sell it. I don't care. I don't need it. Repair all. And now we're going to look at a beautiful, clean inventory, other than some locked items that I have, and a bunch of potions and stuff. But this is only because I'm not harvesting with this character. Normally, if I was harvesting, it would be full of junk. And also, it gets really bad when you get into Moria and beyond Moria, because the legendary weapons have the traceries, which are the items that you can slot into the... I guess if you've never played, you won't know this. If you've never played the game, when you get into Moria, there are legendary class items and legendary weapons. Those items have levels. They also have slots that you can put things into to enhance those items. Those slot items are called traceries and masteries, if I remember correctly, and those can be leveled up. And there are items that you loot which level those things themselves. And so that gets to be chaos, to the point where now, if you go to the LOTRO store, I'll actually show you guys this really quick. Somewhere in here, I might have to find where it is. Is it character grades, maybe? No, it's not going to be character upgrades. I'm going to find it here in a minute. Give me a second, guys. Slots and storage? Yes! So, this is where the game has been out so long, and there's so many things that you can loot, that Standing Stones Games actually has carry-alls that you can get in the LOTRO store to deal with that kind of stuff. Because when you start getting into the higher levels of the game, you get so many items that it's ridiculous. So they have things like a crafting carryall, which lets you hold up to 50 different types of crafting items. So that literally takes up 1 inventory slot instead of taking up 50 inventory slots. And there's the essences. That's what they're not masteries. Essences and traceries. Now I feel like I should go back and watch Dark Crystal again. Essence. So this would be, if you're having inventory management problems, this is where you go. Because here you can get these big carry-all bags, which take up 1 inventory slot as opposed to 50. And then that's a way to help out with the long-term issues of that. Also instrument types, because you can have all these different types of instruments, housing carry-alls, junk items, war spoils, dye packs, you know, all these different things that you can have to help out with inventory management. But the general consensus with this character is, because it's just a throwaway character that I'm just doing for content that I've never seen before, I don't care about harvesting, I don't care about crafting, and as a result, my inventory stays nice and clean because this guy's not doing any of that stuff. I'm literally just playing storyline content and quests, and that's it. And once I've gone through the content, I will never play this character ever again. Like, Burglar is not my favorite class. I was literally just doing this to see the River Hobbit starting area quests. But if we logged over and checked out, like, matter of fact, I think we can even go to the other character I have on this server. We'll go take a look at. His inventory is a mess already. We'll go look at him really quick. Because that's on this server. I've got 3 characters on this server, I think. I was going to make a lore master too, but I don't think I'm going to have enough time to do the lore master as well. It's my hunter. So like if we go check out my hunter, because he's harvesting and crafting, pretty sure his inventory is chaos. So let's take a look. I may have done some crafting, so it might not be as bad as I thought. I'm not gonna go log on to my other account and show you guys like my lore master and stuff, because that's, oh yeah. So here we go. This guy's inventory is much more of a clutter because he's harvesting, and so he's keeping all the harvesting items and crafting items and doing some other stuff. So yeah. And yes, Tracy says at some expansions at the high levels you get free carry-alls as well. But in the low levels of the game, it can be chaos. Also, if you've just started playing, it's going to be very, very, very important that you expand your inventory. Like I think I did a video on this when the legendary servers first came out. Somebody like had asked me to talk about like what were the most important items to get from the LOTRO store, and I was like, the number one thing you need to buy before anything else is expand your inventory slots. Like just buy the inventory slots as quickly as possible with LOTRO points so that you have as much inventory space as possible, because the game gives you a lot of stuff. And that can be overwhelming at lower levels. But as a general rule, unless you're planning on doing crafting, you probably don't need to hang on to all that stuff. The exception would be like ore. Ore and hides always sell very well on the auction hall. Timber sometimes, wood can sometimes sell okay. But if you're going to be harvesting, you're going to be generating a ton of crap that you just don't need. So yeah. I think we need to go back to Swanfleet now and work on these quests, which means, is my recall up? I still got 15 minutes. We're going to have to horse travel. Make our way back to Mossward.
What do you need?
Hans book. keep forgetting to finish my cup of coffee, and it's totally all cold and nasty now. We'll slug it down anyway. The Dark Crystal does have really good voices, especially if you guys haven't watched the Netflix one they did a couple years back. God, it's probably been more like 3 or 4 years now. I forget the name of it now, but the one they did on Netflix, the follow-up that they did, there were so many talented voice actors on that show. It was so very well. So well done. This is a great question. I'm going to answer this live on stream here. So this is not related to Lord of the Rings Online, but it can be applied to Lord of the Rings Online. So we were talking about the New World Eternum open beta, and someone had mentioned the game was fun until you get to the point where you start having to level up your gear level and getting gear and worrying about your gear score and all that other stuff. And I had said that's a grind that a lot of people like. And that's a grind that most live service MMOs have when you get to the end game. But the thing about end game in any game that you play is that it's entirely optional. You do not have to participate in end game if you don't want to. You don't have to raid. You don't have to do any of that. So they had responded and said, when you have more than 3 hours a day, it might be okay, but what if you don't have that many hours? Are you out of luck? And I think that that's a question of depends on whether or not you want to invest the time in participating in the end game of a live service MMO. Because don't scratch my chair, honey, just because you're grumpy because I'm not opening the door for you. If you're going to participate in the end game of any MMO, whether it's World of Warcraft, New World, Lord of the Rings Online, if you want to raid, then yes, you're going to be expected to put in time to get the best gear, to get the best potions, and the materials necessary to get all that stuff together, and to be at your top performance level for your class. And that's something that takes time. And if you have less than 3 hours a day, it's an unfortunate reality where the limiting factor, if you have a limited amount of time that you can play, you just might not be able to participate in certain activities. I know that can be frustrating for some people, but at the same time, end game is never mandatory. It's always an optional part of the game. So it's kind of like, I know on a personal level, I like to ride bikes. My wife and I both like to ride bicycles on a casual, hey, let's ride our bikes to the beach today and go have a picnic. And we do that, or for, let's go ride to the park this Saturday and have a picnic, once every couple of weeks, ride the bikes. Cool. We like riding bikes for fun. Then there are people who ride bikes for fitness. Then there are people who ride bikes to participate in sporting events at the amateur level. And then there's people who participate in marathon, triathlons, Ironman competitions, all these other things. Then you get into people who do it at a professional level, and then you get up to the people who do it at a Olympic level. I know that I will never be able to compete at the Olympic level, nor do I think that the rewards from the Olympic level athlete participation should be available to me, because I am a casual guy who rides a bike once or twice a month. I just recognize that I don't have the time to put in to being an elite level cyclist. And since I know that, I don't even worry about it. It's just outside of my realm of possibilities, so I just ignore it and move on. The trigger point for a lot of people is not being willing to move on. Like, I deserve it, damn it. I should be able to access it. And that's one of the reasons I think World of Warcraft, with the War Within, has made such a significant, there is a vocal minority of old school elite gamers in the World of Warcraft community who are very upset with the War Within expansion because it made the game extremely casual friendly. It's always been casual friendly in recent years. But the War Within in particular has added solo ability to everything. You can solo dungeons with NPCs now, the follower dungeons, so you don't have to run the dungeons with other players. You can solo the raids now. You don't need other players to run the raids, but you're not getting rewards, you're only getting story. So you can go in and do the story without needing to get together with 20, 30 other people. Same thing with the dungeons. You don't need to run the dungeons with other people. You can run them with NPCs, but you're not going to get the rewards. You're just going to get the story. But they have allowed the game to be soloed by everyone, and they've made the group components optional. But they have also provided with delves, which is the new system that they just added. These are these little bite-sized 15 to 30-minute mini dungeons that you run, and you have a companion, kind of like in Star Wars: Old Republic, where you get the robot that goes through on the story mode and does heals and tanks for you and stuff. So you get these companions that go through with you, and these are small little dungeons that can be done with like 1 to 3 players or whatever. But they have tiered difficulties, which they do here as well with the skirmishes. What is it? Control I? No. Control J? I'm not level 20, so I can't access them yet. But skirmishes here have tiers, and you get better rewards the more difficult the tier is that you choose. So the delves in World of Warcraft have a tier system, and if you run the top tier, which is like tier 8 or something, it's the most difficult out there, you can earn gear that is equivalent to the raid level gear that you would earn from running a raid at the lower tier of raiding, but not the higher tier of raiding. There's all these different tier sets. So I think World of Warcraft has made a very smart decision in giving players more agency in how to play the game, and giving players that option of saying, I don't have 3 hours a night to go grind out materials to get the best potions and everything else to go do these upper echelon raids, but I can still participate in like the looking for more raids, which are really quick and easy, or I can just ignore raids altogether and go do delves and still get high level gear by doing something that I can do in the 15 to 20 minutes that I have to play, rather than, needing to worry about putting 3 hours in every night. I'll respond to that individual in text later on, because that deserves a pretty more in-depth response than I can type out while I'm streaming. All right, I think we have to go to
Greetings.
Mossword. Can we go from here? Yep. Did you let her outside, or did you put her in the house? Okay. Ya viste su panza? Dun, 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 dun. Alright, now I've got a ton of quests here that I can work on, because I didn't... At some point I just stopped doing quests here. I think we want to go to Clegor is where we want to ride to, because we had quests to do in that area.
Greetings, friend.
These are going to be low-level quests. We're not going to get a lot of XP for these right now, but we're going to clear the storyline, and we're going to work our way towards higher-level quests in this area. I'm going to run slow travel, everybody. I'm going to duck out, do some jumping jacks, do some cardio, and come back in a minute, guys. Yeah, Tracy, the social anxiety thing. I'm out of breath. Hang on a minute. Whew. The social anxiety thing is an issue for a lot of people, so I think it's a good thing when games provide players with those issues ways to still play the game and access all the content. So I'm very happy that they added, back in the day, I think it was when the game went free to play, was when they added the, what is it called, the stone. When you're doing the book quest, they give you a stone that you can click, which gives you the buff. Or sometimes they just give you the buff when you're doing the book quests. I cannot for the life of me remember what that's called. But it allows you to still get all the story out of the game without needing to look for a group. And I will fight until the day I die against players who sit there and complain about how, you know, the game needs to be inspiration buff. Thank you, that's the one I'm thinking of. The game needs to be group only. Solo players suck. It needs to be mandatory groups. Get out of here. Get out of here. No. It's great to have stuff that is group oriented. Like, to kill a dragon, you should need a group of people to do that. Like, that should be an epic thing that takes 20, 30 people to do. But everything else, like, there's a reason all these little indie MMO crowdfunded projects never go anywhere. Because they're all trying to be old school and forced grouping. We're not going to allow matchmaking because it takes the social component out of the game. Fuck that, man. Let people play how they want. That's the key. The more player agency you can provide people, the more fun they're going to have playing your game. The more fun they have playing your game, the more chances are they're going to come back and play your game. The more people who come back to play your game, the better your population. The better your population, the more people there are to have fun with, the better it is for everybody. Even if you're solo, it's cool to run around and see other people. Like, it makes you feel like you're in a world, you know? Otherwise, we would all go play single-player RPGs. Food for thought. Looks like there was another internet hiccup, everybody, because the Twitch people are reporting a sound issue, and I can see on the YouTube side of things it says that there's a interlacing issue. So if you lost audio, it'll be back in a minute or two. Apologies, nothing I can do about it. It's out of my control. Humble merchant.
Might I speak with you a moment?
Kitty cat, kitty cat. Come here. You're a fat little kitty cat. Kitty kitty meow. Alright, weekly meat order. That's what my wife gets every day. Ah, sorry. We gotta do some bad jokes from time to time. Oh, Nud, he's up top. How the heck am I getting up there?
A fine day to ye.
It's been hours since I last ate. Tell the children to come and eat. I almost fell off. I know, Belloc. That's what she said. We gotta do those jokes from time to time, everybody. I love the music in Swanfleet so far. It's been They did a really good job with the music in this whole zone. Also, if you try to go first person here, you're gonna get lost so quickly because you can't see over the bushes as a hobbit. It's hilarious.
Might he aid me?
Well, no, but you need to go get your dinner, buddy. Wait, where am I? It's hidden in the grass.
How do you do?
There's always room for more berries. Yes, there is. Oh, muddy footprints. Some large reptile made these tracks. A large snarl fills the air. Am I about to get attacked by something? Oh, an arrow-munching Avank. The arrow is covered in a slimy drool, but otherwise unharmed. I think I have a waterfall quest over here. Tracy says it's always hard for me to describe that for people, so I don't. I just play solo games because I like it has an atmosphere, people around me that aren't just NPCs, even if I have more time interacting with those people sometimes. Not NPCs, not in pieces, but talking tech. I get it. Yeah, you're good. Sometimes typing is a pain. Oh no, how am I supposed to... Did you get a little mosquito, Chris? I'm right on top of something. I'm afraid if I fall down... Too late. That didn't give me any credit. Oh, sharp rocks seem to be all that's here. It did give me credit. I am starting to get a bit peckish myself.
Hello, hello. Do you have it?
I do. She reaches out for the oil, then the arrow. Sorry, not the oil. She reaches out for the arrow and then recoils. Is that drool? I don't mean to be ungrateful, but I'm not touching that thing. Maybe you can wash it off for me first? It's a fair statement, Belloc. It might not be right, but it sure as hell is funny.
Oh, my poor arrow.
Hey, that's fair. I don't type on my phone at all, hardly. I use everything's voice to text, or like with my brother, because we communicate mostly through WhatsApp. It's all voice recordings. It's just literally record my message and send it off into the void. And I try that's why I don't do mouse and keyboard too much anymore, because I just try to avoid typing too much anymore. The only time I type is if I really need to do, like my YouTube descriptions I'll type by hand, but I think out of the 20 plus million words I have in publication, I think I've probably done voice to text on 85% of it. I started using Dragons Naturally Speaking all the way back in 2009, I think. 2009 or 2010. It was like my second year of freelancing as a writer. I switched over because I was able to work so much more faster, and it just saved my hands. But still, gaming over the years of WASD has wrecked me. So I got tendinitis issues. I'm a big fan of any and all voice-to-text software. Like, one of the coolest things I love about, like, being just big... If I say it right now, my phone's probably going to wake up, but if you do the whole OK Google, and then it, tell it to do the things, search for the things you want to do, and it's brilliant. Shop of Clegger. Is there something else up here? There's like I might need to go. Oh, it's the NPC. Rose and I Fletch.
A fine job you did.
Oh, that's for the kids. Gotcha. Something right around here. Weekly orders. I wonder if it's in the butcher shop. No. What the heck am I still missing? Somewhere around here, there's another order that I haven't seen yet. Oh, there it is.
How do you do?
Where's the order for Mayor Marmaduke? Sometimes he forgets to post his order. That doesn't mean he'll understand if I don't send the steaks. You'd better talk to him in person and run back here and let me know what he wants. I can do that. You know, buzzing flies around the local butcher shop is not necessarily a good thing. Somebody's not doing a good job of cleaning up after themselves. Look at his dog! I never noticed that when I was up here the first time. He's got a little beagle. Does he have a name? Oh, I can't even click on him. He's just there for decoration. Still, he's cute. Amanda Moorman says, downloading now, so excited to finally give this game a try. That's what we like to hear. Cunetta wants to know what meat I wish to order for next week. Surely he must know me now, but that I expect a standing order of beef, chicken, and pork with plenty of each. Marmaduke loves them all. The mayor notices your expression and gives a hearty laugh. I do enjoy them all, but I speak not only for myself. My very good boy here shares my name and my appetite. We are both Marmadukes. Now you run along and tell Cunetta that I want the same order as last week, and mayor shouldn't need to be consulted on this every 7 days. I'm very busy after all. Well, now we know the name of the dog and why it didn't have a name tag. Hey. Let's just vibe for a minute, guys. It's going great, Dendron. So I love, if you listen to the, there's almost like a dun 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 behind the scenes. Like the music in this game, they've got some great composers working on the music. I mean, the original game had, like, the original base game has great music, but Swan Fleet, this whole River Hobbit starting area has a just phenomenal music all the way throughout. It's really, really good. Moshi Poppins over on Twitch says this game is a nice combo of old school handcrafted immersion and new school theme park. It forces you to slow down and just be in Middle Earth. And I do have the volume of the music turned down a little bit because often it's overwhelming against the voices if you turn it up, so it might be a little quiet for those of you on the stream, but I like it to just be sort of a thematic thing out of the background rather than an overwhelming blah. Belloc coming in for a $20 super chat over on YouTube. Says, I sit here on any given day, make smart-ass comments, watch you play games, and just kind of hang out. I guess the least I can do is throw you a bone once in a while. Keep up the streaming. I enjoy hanging out. Well, thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hey, cool, you can interact with super chats now on I had to manually go over to YouTube, but they have a like button. Now I can reply to them now too. That's cool. There's like a shanty in the background. It's cool stuff. By the way, smart-ass comments are what makes the stream fun. And bad dad jokes. Which I'm not the only one making the bad dad jokes. There's been a couple of zingers tonight from other people. I like the fact that there's just this kind of stuff to do. By the way, for anybody who's new to Lord of the Rings Online, without spoiling anything, when you get to the Troll Shaws, which I think is level 30, like 30 to 40, don't skip the Troll Shaws. Do every quest in the Troll Shaws. Eventually you're going to come across a quest that sends you to track down a white stag in the woods. Do not skip that quest. It's going to lead you on a mission that will have you chasing after someone who likes juicy sweet fish. That's all I'm going to say. If you don't get the reference, then... Even Chris is over on the bed laughing at me right now because she's like, even I know who that is. She's never read the book, so she's seen the movies, so... It is such a cool quest. My brother has played this game since 2011. He had never come across that quest, and I took him through. Maybe this is probably 3 or 4 years ago now. He had gone through the Troll Shaws like 3 or 4 times and just he never did all the quests there. Also, in the Troll Shaws are the 3 stone trolls from The Hobbit. And just, I'm telling you, and when you get to the Misty Mountains, do not skip going to the Goblin City, Goblin Town. Because in Goblin Town, if you go into those caves and you explore it, you will find Gollum's Cave. And I'm telling you, Gollum's Cave is quite possibly one of the coolest things you'll find in the game from the books. Because when you go and you're like going through these tunnels and everything else, and all of a sudden you start seeing these like orc or these goblin cave drawings, and you're like, is that Gollum? So like literally the goblins in the caves are like terrified of this creature that lives in the caverns, and they have these cave drawings and stuff, and you're like following along, and you'll eventually find Gollum's Cave. It's so cool. Don't be afraid to go off the beaten path in this game and just explore, because there's so much stuff like that, like the quest in the troll shaws, the 3 stone trolls, Gollum's Cave. Like the game is just full of little moments like that, which is why it's such a joy to just get off the beaten path and just go see all of the things that you would otherwise miss if you were just like going quest hub to quest hub like you would do in many other games. Alright, we're done vibing. Let's get back to it. Take a screenshot. Alright, we're good. Alright, kids. Enjoy your dance on the top of this rock outcropping. Brett says, good evening, Ren. Still hard at work? I am. Yes, sir. Bellex says, speaking of LOTRO, I think it still goes on, but I remember at least on Landroval server, when I was on, they have a monthly Rumble on Weathertop. I don't know if it's still monthly. I know they do the Weathertop. I thought it was once a year now. It might be once a month. I don't know. I have characters on Landroval, but I haven't played there in a few years. The last few years I was playing on Laurelin, which is the old European RP server that all my original characters are on. I actually haven't ever done, that's the one intro I haven't done yet, Tracy, is the Stout Axe. That's cool that it gives you another cameo. Brett says, been putting time into rigging up my streaming space all day. Very excited to have a dedicated area.
A fine day
Nice.
to you.
I'm looking forward to doing the office remodel, because this has always been, the space that we're in right now is like an office slash, it's the only air conditioner we have in the house. So it's an office slash sort of bedroom, but it's not meant to be like, it's not a very big, and there's cats that come in here, and it's not set up. Like, the reason I use a green screen is because we still haven't painted the walls, and it's not something you want to see. It does not look professional at all. With the green screen, no one can see anything, so it looks much more professional with the green screen than without. But like, I'm looking forward to doing that new space, because that's actually going to be able to be set up in such a way that it's set up to be a studio first. Whereas this was just, hey, this is the room over here, let's make this. And in retrospect, I really wish that I wouldn't have picked this room, because it's the west-facing room, and it gets hot in the summertime. Hot, hot, hot in the summertime in this room. The little mini split air conditioner cannot keep up when it gets May and June. That was a thing we didn't even think about, because the neighbors, there's a wall next door and some trees, but it's not nearly tall enough. Things you learn after you've lived on site for a while. We're about to start. I mean, we could start tomorrow if we wanted to, but it's we've had a hot heat wave this week, so neither one of us have wanted to go in there and start scraping the paint off the walls. But that's the first step, is to just go in there with wire brushes and scrapers and start scraping. Yeah, we joked about going into the backyard, just digging down and building an underground office. I don't think there's any. No hay códigos aquí por ese tipo de cosas, o no? She doesn't know either. Huh? I think the way that we've looked at this place in the last year is that it's just a temporary until we buy a place up in the mountains with more property. So we're just doing whatever we need to do to make this place more comfortable, and then everything else is just save, 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 save. Oh my goodness, there's so many trees here. I probably could have just taken the horse. These are all the falls, right? Yeah, all three of these are falls. Alright, well, let's follow this path. Knickerbreakers. Well, we don't like the Knickerbreakers. By what maps are available? Can the routes? I'm not quite sure I understand that question. Do I have to drop down to the bottom of this waterfall? Oh no! I didn't know you could die from falling into water. Oops! What's up? No. Remember when I fell off my horse in Red Dead Redemption 2 off the waterfall? That's what just happened here. Oh, expansion maps. No. What you need, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think it's going to show up for me because I think I own everything up to a certain point. But let's just check here really quick. Go into your account. Go into expansions. Anything you don't own will show up here in the expansions section. Now, individual quest packs for zones, I don't know where those are found, to be honest with you. It's got to be under your account. But I don't know what it would be under. Character, maps, and skills? No, those are just milestone things. Collections? Crafting, featured items. It may not be showing up for me because I'm running VIP right now. There may be something under the account that's like quest packs. I don't know because I'm running VIP, so it may not be showing up for me. But I definitely don't own the Umbar expansion or the Fate of Gundabad expansion, so it's showing those because I don't own them. So if you go into the LOTRO store while you're in game, it should show you all the things that you don't own. I would also say pay attention to the holiday specials, because every holiday season, Standing Stones Games usually does a big giveaway where they'll give you a promotion code and they'll do like quest packs, you know. And they'll give you all the quest packs for free, or like 50 quest packs for free. Do I gotta go down? The waterfall messed up the sound. Well, the waterfall was really loud. You do have to go down to the bottom ones. Okay, so you have to go down to the bottom of all these falls. I feel like I'm back in Everswim, aka Evendom, before they added boats. Let's go swimming for 45 minutes. The boats in Evendom were like one of the best things they could have ever added to the game when they finally added those. And also the boat fast travel waypoints they added were really cool later on. Oh, look at this little dock here, guys. There's a little boat, there's a little lamp post and a path that goes up. Okay, so this is a perfect example of the Standing Stones Games world building team working with an older engine, but doing a very good job at making these idyllic little scenes. So it's nighttime right now, so we're not going to be able to see this as cool as it would be in the day. But if you look down here, we're getting a straight shot down this river as it winds out, so we get to see the landscape on either side. Got a little fishing dock right here. There's a boat. Looks like there's another dock right across the way. And then up here we have a lantern lit path, which I totally would have found had I come around the other way. And it leads up through here and guides us through the nooks and crannies, rather than jumping off of cliffs like I did. Hang on, where's the next one? Does it go through the bushes or something? Hang on, I'm lost in the bushes. Where does that lead to? Because that one just dead ends at the tree. Oh, there's some, look at that. We're clipping through the environment right here. Well, there's fun little stuff. We would have to figure out how to get through here. I'm thinking that some of these colliders are not working the way they're supposed to be. I'm gonna see if I can't get through here. Oh, yep. That's like a hidden... That's like a little hidden thing right there. That's interesting, the way they've done that. And this house is like, what is this place? This is like totally tucked away back in the middle of nowhere in here. I almost feel like this might be a little nook that was forgotten about because we've got trees growing through the rocks and everything else. It's like maybe somebody was starting to build something and then kind of it got forgotten about or left in as like a secret thing for people to find. That's very interesting. I don't think I can get up from here to like get out. I think we will have to go down to the river and swim out. I'm reviewing the episodes, every week. So Thursday, I think, is when the episodes air. So we're up to episode 5 now. We'll be doing episode 6. Rings of Power. I'm current on the show. Chris is running a couple weeks behind. She's up to episode 3. Well, we're already, yeah, but those series are already in the works, Can the Roots. You should go look at the press releases for everything that Middle-earth Enterprises is doing right now, and the Endorser Group, Embracer Group, now that they own Middle-earth Enterprises. They are spinning out a Young Aragorn series. They're going to be doing a Gandalf series. We have the Hunt for Gollum films, which Andy Serkis is directing and returning to play Gollum as. That's going to be a 2-part film. They are doing a lot of things with the Lord of the Rings intellectual property. And I'm on board for all of it. Also, Tales of the Shire, which just got announced, 2 days ago, that it's being pushed back till 2025. But Tales of the Shire is Weta Workshop's first ever video game, and it's a cozy little crafting, harvesting game that's going to be on all platforms, coming out in early 2025. They have a showcase on the 22nd, which I'm going to be live streaming. I think that's next Sunday. Yeah, next Sunday. We will be watching that live with everybody. So if you want to see the Tales of the Shire showcase, the 22nd. I think at like 11:30 Central, 9:30 Pacific, something like that. I'll confirm on the channels once I know the exact timelines, but we're going to be live streaming that. No one knows what time period Gandalf's story will be set in. It might be set in the Second Age, it might be set in the Third Age, we just don't know. There's a lot of stuff that Gandalf did that was explained in the Lord of the Rings books and the appendices in terms of his travels, going into the Necromancer's lair, going into Moria. The Hunt for Gollum is going to cover a lot of it because that's going to be a fun time period as well. Necro says, still waiting for the LOTRO graphical update they promised and canceled, except that actually was a misunderstanding on the part of many people out there. They never promised a graphical update like people thought. They have updated the graphics on this game over the years in many, many different ways. We've had character model updates, we've had DirectX updates, we've had water updates, we've had shader updates. They never promised a whole overhaul of the game to make it look like something completely new. I still do not know where that myth started. That was never something that was ever promised by Standing Stones Games. Ever. All they ever said was, we're working on improving these aspects of the game, we're updating these things, we're updating the graphics these ways, and they've worked on different things. Yeah, but they don't have the investment to make that happen. That's a completely unrealistic... That's like asking them to like take their game engine that they have right now and, oh, it would be so cool if they made it in Unreal 5, it would look so much better. Yeah. Do you have $250 million for them to invest 6 years to port the game over to Unreal 5? I don't. I know they don't. How the hell am I getting out of here? I guess we're riding around. I think you're coming at it from the wrong way, Necro. You're saying that it's a lack of investment in what are otherwise top-notch MMOs. It's not a lack of investment. It's the fact that they just don't have the money to make those investments. It's an unrealistic ask for a company that has, 50, 60 employees. Like, we're not talking about a game that generates $250 million a year of revenue. We're talking about a game that generates enough of an income to keep a small team continually working and pumping out the best content they possibly can within the limitations of the engine that they're working on. Because going to a new engine is just a completely, not even just a new engine, upgrading graphics is a massive undertaking that literally does cost billions of dollars in salaries for the art team. That's just never going to be a realistic ask. It's a great dream. Let's just put it that way. It would, a pipe dream. But the other reality is that Amazon is working on a brand new Lord of the Rings MMO right now that will eventually come out. And that will provide players who are looking for new graphics the chance to have that flashy new thing. And then that game, after 7 or 8 or 10 years, will eventually look old, like any live service game. Now, it's still standing stones. Tracy wants more curly hair. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. They have updated, many of the races have new character models and new hairstyles. We have tattoos now and a whole bunch of other stuff. They just updated those over the last, 2 years. Right, Can the Roots. That's so I often say that one of my private personal wishes is that they would add controller support to this game, because I hate playing with mouse and keyboard. It's never going to happen. Making a game support controller is something that requires a significant amount of revenue for an older game like this that was never built to be controller specific. Oh, we're going to have to go down to the base of this, aren't we? So I realize that that's an unrealistic ask on my part, so it's just always one of those things where I'm like, I wish they would, but I know they never will, so it is what it is. By the way, is that a low-level quest?
Might ye aid me?
Oh, that's a timed quest. No, thank you. Can I get down there somehow? Without falling to my death? I may have to find another way down. There is a path over here to the left. This might run down to the water's edge down here. It's like the current move to the 64-bit tech on the new servers, on these legendary servers. Like, I know a lot of people were immediately like, oh my god, they need to do this for every server. Give it to us on the legacy servers. And it's like, they do have plans to do it to those servers on a population-based basis. But it's also heavily dependent upon these ones. I mean, it was a significant investment on their part to move to these 64-bit servers. I have played D&D Online, and I don't like the combat in that game because it's really different. And as much as I love Dungeons & Dragons, and as much as I love this game, I do not like the movement or the controls in Dungeons and Dragons Online. So I've tried it like 3 times over the years, and I just can't handle the combat. So it's too wonky. The movement's wonky. It's a great game. Don't get me wrong. It's a great game. They do a ton of content to it. Standing Stones has done a phenomenal job keeping that game content-wise updated over the years with the seasonal stuff and everything else, and just adding tons of stuff to it. But the combat is not for me. And that's fine. Oh, there's a battered skeleton. I bet he fell like I did earlier. Skeleton looks too large to be a hobbit. Tracy says, when I get a super billionaire to marry me, I'll have them invest in making this game controller accessible. Well, thank you very much. Excuse me. What time is it? Oh, I should not drink any more coffee, Chris. Thank you for offering, but I should not drink more coffee. Because it's probably what time is it right now? $6:40. It's almost 7 o'clock our time. Yeah, I don't need more coffee. Well, not only getting the rights, but they've maintained the rights to both franchises over the years because of the fact that they've been able to put out a steady cadence of content. If there's one thing you can't say bad about Lord of the Rings Online or Dungeons & Dragons Online is that the games may look a little dated, but they have always pushed out content on a regular basis over the years. They have never missed content updates. I think there's a horse over here. Right back to Clicker.
Good day.
Welcome to the Twitch, Wolfgren. Anybody else who's new tonight, let's do a commercial while we're riding. I multi-stream on YouTube and Twitch. We do 2 streams a day as a general rule. One in the morning at 9 or 10 a.m. Mountain/Central. And another one around 5 or 6 p.m. Mountain/Central. Every day of the week. The main streams in the mornings follow a main game. We just wrapped up Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 today. The review for that is out tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Central here on YouTube. And after this, we're rolling into Starfield on Friday. The next 3 days, we're going to be playing No Man's Sky during the morning sessions. Continuing our journey there. I'm about to cross 100 hours played in No Man's Sky, which is a pretty significant milestone. And then Friday we're back to Starfield, continuing our second playthrough as we drive the new rover around, go find a planet to build an outpost on, and get ready for the Shattered Space DLC that's dropping on the 30th. And next month, Diablo 4 DLC, New World Eternum, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 campaign, and Dragon Age the Veilguard on Halloween, which is gonna be freaking amazing. So the next 6 weeks are gonna be super packed, but the next 6 months I've got already booked out as well. It's gonna be great. On Monday nights, I play Lord of the Rings Online, and on Wednesdays and Saturdays, I play World of Warcraft with our guild on the Moonguard server. We do raids on Saturday nights. Technically, we're not raiding right now, though. We're doing harvesting for our guild crafters on Saturday nights. We'll be starting the raids for the new World of Warcraft expansion, War Within. We'll be starting those raids in October. Mid-October is the current plan. So make sure you follow along in both places. If you're watching on Twitch right now, the day-to-day happens on YouTube. So in between streams, I do a ton of content creation. We do game guides, reviews, film reviews, first impressions, reaction videos, lots of different things. And all those take place over on YouTube. So if you're watching on Twitch right now, awesome, because the streams happen in both places. We just crossed 36,000 followers on YouTube yesterday, or the day before yesterday. So we're moving right along. Twitch is growing rapidly, though. It's been pretty cool to see because we started multi-streaming October of last year. So we're almost at our 1 year mark, and I think we just crossed 1,400 followers yesterday on Twitch. The goal is to try to get to 5,000 followers by the end of the year on Twitch. So, don't be afraid to double dip if you're watching on YouTube right now. Goodness, you're soaked! But you didn't drown. Good luck. What have you there? So you hand over the broken vase. And Drodron says, well, would you look at that? How old is this, I wonder? And you found a skeleton. I can't wait to tell all of my friends about the discoveries that that is, we have made. Thank you. That was a fun little quest. Pretty involving. There you go. Sparkles92, thanks for the follow over on Twitch. Also, Lug Semblenak over on YouTube. Appreciate it. Alright, these are all quests that are north of here. I should check to see what else I'm not tracking. Those are the only three I have tracked. There we go. Super Ginger Bro, what's up? Yeah, I don't think you're ever going to see Eru in this game, no. But I will say that they've done an exceptional job of diving into Second Age and First Age lore and a lot of the storylines. I still think to this day one of my favorite of the races, like the starting area races, is the High Elf, because of the way that they did that storyline where you start off at the battles of many years ago and then you basically get wiped out in combat and then you are unconscious for thousands of years and wake up in Rivendell and you're weakened and from all your years in a coma and you've got to recover your strength. I always thought that was a really cool way to do a racial introduction. And I think it was last Saturday when we actually got to see Sauron forging the One Ring in Lord of the Rings online. That was really cool. Oh, I need multiple things here, and there's bad guys. Let's dismount. I need to free captured hobbits, find the family parcel, and then a book. Oh, I'm gonna have to go in, aren't I? Yeah, we're gonna have to go past the gates. Welcome aboard, Belated Odyssey. Here's some stuff. Yeah, the second season of the Fallout series is going to be fun. Season 1 was pretty good. You liked the Fallout show, didn't you, Chris? You liked the Fallout show. Fallout? Do you remember the Fallout show? Watched that like 3 months ago. La chica que vive abajo en un refugio y habían unas bombas nucleares y luego salieron con el chico negro en la traje de armadura. Fallout. She's never played the video game, so she watched that show not having any frame of reference. ¿De qué nivel? 1 a 10. She just said she gave it an 8 out of 10. She knows nothing about the video games or the franchise. She just watched it because I was watching it. She's also never read Lord of the Rings. I bought her the Lord of the Rings box set with the Hobbit, which she's never read, but your box set is in storage. I bought it for her in Spanish. You did start reading the Hobbit before we moved, and then we got busy with the move and the homestead. She's just way too busy here. But we do watch religiously every year at Christmas time, because it is a Christmas film. Don't let anybody fool you. Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit extended editions, but specifically the Lord of the Rings extended editions. The Hobbit less so, but you gotta watch all 6 of them if you're gonna do it. So we try to do that every holiday season, which it's almost time. It's September. Yeah, it's not hot. We can have hot chocolate. We can make food. So we used to do apple pie. So we did for a while when we were in the city, we did the LOTRO cooking in real life show, where I was taking recipes from the game and cooking them in our kitchen, and I put the photos up on Patreon and did the recipes in video format. I don't know, we did like, 15, 20 recipes. Lord of the Rings has good food, whether you're talking the game here or the books. Although I still have not made a good Limbus recipe. I've never been satisfied with my Limbus attempts. However, my buttered scones with blackberry jam is to fucking die for, as is my complete Hobbit's breakfast. And the bacon marmalade is Also, my roasted potatoes recipe is quite divine. Chris just made cornbread the other day that we destroyed. She makes it all the way from scratch. We talked about this the other night. She husks the corn. The problem is whenever she makes it, we eat it in like 2 days. It's gone. Like it's good baking stuff it's worth it, man. Necro says I'm at 195 hours in No Man's Sky. Yeah, it's a good game, man. Tracy says double dipping, just can't talk on Twitch yet for 10 minutes. Indeed. Can't make good elven bread until you become an elf. I know. Still got too much ugly dwarf in me, probably. Alright, we are still looking for a book and freeing some more hobbits. So we're looking for more of those prison cells. How much money would I bet the book is in here? No? Did somebody just see me? Oh, you rat bastards. Oh, there's the tome. I see it. Well, at this point, let's just take them all out. It's probably a deed related to killing all these bandits anyway. Bellex says, I'm about 450 hours in No Man's Sky, one of my go-to games when I just want to chill and not be serious. I've been pleasantly surprised. It's very rare for me to find games that I'm willing to like fit into my schedule and continually play. Like, I play a lot of games, and usually it's only the big franchises like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. Those are the ones that I'll definitely find places for. No Man's Sky was an unexpected surprise for me, because I did not like it when I tried it 3 years ago. Like, I hated it. I had a really bad experience, blew up my ship, couldn't figure out how to fix it, and then I came back after the Worlds update, Worlds Part 1, and I was like, oh my god, this game is absolutely freaking amazing. And like, crossing 100 hours threshold, you know, I just finished all the primary storylines, so everything that's left is just like all the stuff that there's still so much left to do, like flesh out my freighter. We're doing the settlements right now so that I can get the autophage race unlocked. Like, there's just so much to do. And then expeditions, like just the fishing expedition that they just did was absolutely amazing. So much fun. Alright, there's some more. Prison. Cages. Yeah, Mochi, I really think that, especially coming over from Liquidators, because I had never done an expedition before, and Liquidators was like, oh my god, so much combat, and I really, as much as I like No Man's Sky, I do not like the combat in that game. I don't like the ground combat. And that was really tough for me. Like, that was a really rough expedition to do as my first one ever. And then immediately afterwards, they do this fishing one, which is like pure relax, chill, hang out on the docks, fish from the power of your ship. You know, it was like, this is so freaking awesome. Like, having the hover jets on your ship and being able to like go out into the middle of the ocean and like drop your ship down and hover and fish off the nose of your fish, or then drop your fishing skiff and like take it out into the depths. I had so much fun doing that expedition. I've been tempted to go do it on my main save now. Just do it again. I mean, like, why not? Like, just for fun. I don't know. I don't have time to do it, but it would be fun. Like, I really enjoyed it. But I really hope they do the seasonal and bring back the one that they just did earlier with the Iron Vulture ship, because I really want to get that ship. That ship looks so cool. Where is this last prisoner? That's like today. We played it this morning, and since we're done with Space Marine 2, and we were just vibing, you know, just chilling out, listening to music, working on the settlement stuff. Lots of just harvesting today. It was almost all harvesting this morning. Captured a Hobbit. Why is it pointing me in this direction? Really? There's one down. Oh, there's totally is one down here. Alright, that's the last of the prisoners. Super Ginger Bro says, hey, I just found your channel on YouTube a few days ago. Really enjoy the content you put out. Thanks for that. You're making me want to give LOTRO another try. Hey, I mean, I got a video that went out a couple months back talking about how there's never been a better time to play Lord of the Rings online. And the best thing about it is you have options. Like, if you're not sure, play free to play. Yeah, the legacy servers have a little bit of lag, you know, a little bit of rubber banding from time to time. It's not game breaking. It could be a little annoying, but it's not game breaking. But it's free to play, up to level 90 or Helm's Deep, whichever you get to first. And honestly, that's like 6 expansions worth of content for free that you can go through. And it's like there's so much to see and do in this game. And they're constantly doing like quest pack deals around the holidays where you can get all sorts of stuff for free. I mean, there's a lot going on. Where is this quest? Village in the Sky. All 3 of these are back in Klager. Yeah, I was watching, it's been a couple of weeks ago now because I know he's been doing other stuff right now, but a couple of weeks ago I was watching Beeblebum do, he was just literally just flying to a planet, an ice planet. He was just scanning everything and just exploring. And that kind of stuff is really cool to just vibe to. Somebody else in one of my comments, in the comment section of one of my videos, talked about how one of the things they love to do is listen to podcasts while they play No Man's Sky. Like, they'll just go listen to like a 2-hour podcast while they play. And I was like, that's actually, if I didn't stream for a living, I would totally do that. Like, I would totally just go listen to a podcast and play No Man's Sky, because it's just that kind of a game where you could just kind of be listening to something or watching something and playing while you're going along. Belated Odyssey says, I would be happy if it's just a walking game based on how much detail LOTRO puts in the world. Yeah, they could. Well, there are some walking game quests in this, especially if you do the Shire and you want to run pies around, deliver pies. Oh, and go pick up pies. There's also the pub crawls. It can be Super Ginger. So over on Twitch, Super Ginger Bro said, LOTRO just seems like a great break for the typical grind rush fest that a lot of other MMOs and games are. It can be. There are some people who try to bring the whole, you know, elite gamer in-game raid. Yeah, only raiders are the best players. There are some people who try to bring that over, and they'll say things like this. So you've all been watching me play all night tonight, and probably some of you have been here the last few weeks. I do not give a shit about virtue traits. They have not mattered since the days of like Moria and Mirkwood. These don't matter. These are 100% fluff. I just pick one and I just keep it, and that's it. I do not worry about filling out the rest of these. Why? Because they don't matter. But there are some players who swear that you're an idiot for not paying attention to your virtue traits because they are into the metagame and they're all about, oh my god, you have to have this, that, and the other, otherwise you're not going to be any good at end game and you're not going to be able to blah, 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 max DPS. Nah. Man, I'm so beyond that. Like, you know, I'm literally so beyond that. Like, nope. If you want to do that, that's cool, but you totally don't have to. This is a great game to just lose yourself and explore Middle Earth. Belated Odyssey, also the mail quest. Yes, delivering mail in the Shire. Also in Evendom, you had to deliver stuff too. Thanks for retrieving this for me. The brigands have been pestering us folk for a while, and I feared our family might lose it. Please deliver this to my cousin Gwynfor in Glen Helig. I think I already went and got the horse up there, but I can't remember for sure.
Just
Dude,
a moment.
Belated, you want to hear something funny? I've been playing this game since it launched. I don't have a max level character. My highest level character, I think, is 102 or 103. Outside of Minas Tirith and Osgiliath, looking for Faramir right now, which is my lore master. I've played this game since it came out, and I don't have a max level character. Why? Because I just play. I play this game to just vibe. It's Middle Earth, music, the little Easter eggs. Like earlier, we did that Burglar quest, and you saw the 3 wolves from old Farmer Maggot's farm. Like, and going to visit Old Farmer Maggot, meeting Gollum, going to Gollum's cave, meeting Aragorn, meeting Gimli, meeting Legolas, meeting Gandalf. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff in this game for immersion in Middle Earth. I've still never gone all the way into Mordor. I've never gone beyond Osgiliath. That character's been parked there for like 2 years, I think. There you go, Poppins. Poppins over on YouTube says, I've been playing on and off for 13 years and I only have a level 70 minstrel. I just like being in Middle Earth. Super Ginger Bro's like, fine, I'm downloading it. That's the spirit. Alright, we have quest to talk to Cranog over here, and then we have a turn-in. Who's the humble merchant?
What do you need?
Alright, I think we can ride to Glen
Hello there.
Helig. Belloc says, yeah, those are the same people where their vocabulary is limited. Their vocabulary is limited to get good, brah. That's cool, Odyssey. I will one day go to Mordor. It might be January is I don't think there's any new releases happening in January, so you never know. If I get some free time, that might be a fun thing to do, is go hop back on my Lore Master and just push, because I have yeah, we'll wait and see. I don't want to overcommit myself. He's on the I think that's on the Laurelin server. But that might be something I might find time to do one of these days, because I'm honestly not that far away from like finishing the Mordor storyline. I'm in Gondor. I'm at the gates of Minas Tirith. We're at Osgiliath. You know, I think 120 is where Mordor caps out at. I think something like that. So at 102, I'm not that far away from the end. I bet if I pushed 40 hours, 50 hours, I could get there. Tomorrow's Tuesday, right, Chris? Yes. I don't know why I asked that question. It's Monday night. Of course it's Tuesday tomorrow. Where is this turn-in? He's down there. Okay. Which means we gotta back out and find that path down. I remember back in the day, the virtue traits used to be really important. Like, I remember going through Moria. No, hang on, it's totally... Yeah, he's down there, though. It's weird how it shows him up here, but he's down at the river. Because you had to have them to get the max, because you just needed so many hit points to do the Moria raids and dungeons. And, I missed that turn off completely somewhere in here. And I remember back in the day, you had to go grind mobs to get the deeds, to get the virtues. And so going and killing salamanders down in the depths was a huge pain, because they breathed fire and it was just really annoying. And you had to kill hundreds of them.
Looking for Glen Helig, are ya? You and everyone else.
The ruffians out of Radclub and causing all kinds of chaos for the Stool Bales. Tell you what, if you could stir up some trouble in Radlaw and perhaps teach a few of those ruffians a thing or two, I'll show you the way to Glen Helig. So I actually already found my way to Glen Helig, but thanks, old man. Also, we got this side quest that we can grab now.
For generations, my family has been in charge of maintaining the bridges of Glen Helig.
It's a very important job for a rotted bridge plank and crumble underfoot a hoof. It's around this time of year when I need to do a full survey of each bridge, but I've been feeling pretty poorly the past few days. If you're up for the ups and downs, that's a really confusing twist of words. If you're up for the ups and downs of it, I could compensate you for the work if you'll help me. The first thing we need to do is examine the bridges to make sure the ropes, planks, and anchor points are all in top shape. Alright, cool. Alright, folks, I'm 3.5 hours in, almost. That's a wrap for me tonight, guys. Because we did 3.5 hours this morning, I did 3.5 hours tonight. I'm 7 hours deep, and my voice needs a break. And it's like 7:15 at night here, so I'm gonna go get my Valerian, have a little bit of something to drink, and wind down with my wife for the evening. Check all the cats, do all the evening chores that need to be done. Tomorrow morning we'll be back for No Man's Sky, sometime in the morning, 8, 9 o'clock, something like that. There is a video going out first thing in the morning, which is my review of Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. That's going live at 6 a.m. Central, 5 a.m. Mountain, for those who want to check that out. You can go preview it right now. There's a notification button you can set up. It's going to be a premiere that goes out. I traditionally do premieres every morning at 5 a.m. Tomorrow the agenda is No Man's Sky in the morning, and then in the afternoon I've got some recording to do, and I've got a couple of additional little videos that we're going to be talking about, some fun stuff coming down the pipeline. So stay tuned for that. Also, over on in the Discord, in the Crafts Gardens section, if you're in our Discord, tomorrow morning we'll be live again on the Homestead channel at about 4:30 a.m. Mountain Time with the Catio stream. So if you want to hang out with the chickens and the cats and the crickets and me drinking coffee, talking to people from time to time, Chris going in and out doing Homestead morning chores and stuff, we're doing those now in the mornings before I start my game streams. They're mostly hands-off. It's mostly just, here's the camera, watch the cats, listen to the crickets, wake up with chickens, that kind of stuff. And then when we duck outside to do chores, we'll say hi and stuff. That's over on the Homestead channel. So if you don't have a link for that, you can drop into Discord, check that out. I also dropped a link over in the post on YouTube today, which has a huge list of the next 6 weeks of what we're working on. There's a lot of stuff happening, so check that out. Also, my brother and his wife and his family have a cattle ranch in southeast Missouri, and I am doing social media for them, and we're doing a bunch of videos. So if you're interested in farm to table stuff related to cows, and also lots of ducks and chickens and dogs and the life of a working cattle ranch, you can check that out in the Discord. I also share that out on YouTube as well, so you can check out all the links and follow along with all the things that we are involved in beyond gaming, because this is just one part of what I do. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate it. Thanks for the support. I'm glad you're happy with those videos. Poteen, hey Poteen, we're on our way out. We're winding down for the evening, but thanks for dropping in. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. In the meantime, have a great evening. Enjoy your adventures wherever they might take you, whether it's Middle Earth or beyond. Don't forget to eat some good lembas bread, smoke some good pipe weed, fill your belly as any good hobbit would. Never trust wizards. See you next time, everybody.